Hello, and welcome back after a long break because life has been very, very busy for all of us. Welcome back to Cordially Invited, where you all are cordially invited to join us as we attempt to play some D&D 5e in a homebrew world. And my very, very brave party here is going to attempt to do the most difficult thing, which is get a royal wedding to happen with a reasonable amount of shenanigans. I think we've had to adjust the level of shenanigans.
I think we're still I think we've already passed a reasonable amount of shenanigans. I think we're into an alarming amount of shenanigans at this point.
Yeah.
An unreasonable amount of shenanigans. That's
an unreasonable
fair.
amount of shenanigans, yes.
We have more than enough content. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not unreasonable, unmanageable. We're trying to stay under unmanageable.
It is still manageable. It is a little bit alarming and I think unreasonable. The bird shit was potentially unreasonable in retrospect. But what can you do?
The bird shit is entirely of your three's doing.
It was. It absolutely was.
So I take no responsibility.
Technically, it was the 301 birds doing, but whatever you want.
And Premac.
No. I mean, Premac doesn't.
Premac asked for the bird deluge.
Deluge from the skies.
I object to that word.
Sustained.
That's what happened.
Yeah, hearsay. Sorry. No.
Oh gosh. I was there, damn it.
That's still hearsay. Doesn't matter if you were there. You are. I've been in court all day. So this is what you get. Expect me to be very nitpicky today. I'm not going to be. But we are picking up sort of at the close of our first act, which is very exciting. You guys finished the first trial of the royal wedding, out of which, do you remember how many I said there were?
Three.
So 1 out of 3 done. Before we recap where we are currently as we enter this episode, I'm going to ask Scott if there's any announcements that we should be making here.
Yeah. As always, there is a link to the Dice Cult Discord down below in the doobly-doo the YouTube description there. And also there are our D&D Beyond character sheets. If you ever have any interest in who our characters are, you can check them out there. And, all the Twitter and everything, other links are down there as well. Lots of other great shows throughout the week. So come please join us on the Discord channel to get notifications about all the other shows as well. That's it.
Okay. Well, last time on Cordially Invited, you guys were decompressing after hunting down the black boar of the forest, Premac killing it, forgetting that perhaps he was not the person intended to make the killing blow, releasing a lot of magic that was very concerning, that all of the sides, the prince, the princess, you all, Raven, and Corcoran were all sort of after in some way or another for various ends. In a very wild way of trying to combat everyone trying to grab this magic, it ended up being sucked right into Neve, who is currently the owner of it. And we are dealing with the fallout of that. And they have to kind of make a decision before they leave the forest here. I drew a very nice little path as to how you have managed to be going here. Owlbear does let me draw lines, which I really appreciate, on our map here, leaving from the Palace of Silvar into the Mingorns. You crossed a bridge, you came to a various clearing, and then you've turned around and come back. You're going a little bit faster because you now know the way and you're not hunting. And the last time you were trying to kind of finish up the last of the talking that you need to do with the various members of the two different groups here. You talk to Tristan Harrow, Dove's young ward, your Robin, so to speak.
Oh,
no.
You did not run this by us ahead of time. I don't know
no.
about that joke.
I don't have to run by anything. It was a good pun. He revealed some information to you guys about the potential nature of the next trial, along with questioning Lord Nolan, who gave you an even further peek behind the curtain that perhaps the princess will be in a slightly different position for trial number 2, and that you might need to court the prince's favor this time a little bit, as Tristan revealed some games that children would play around wedding times in the villages around Silvar. You, in your conversation with Lord Nolan, learned that he was being manipulated, I will say, dominated, in another word that might change our rating on YouTube, to assist, work with something with Corcoran, and we were unsure, and he was unable to tell you what, who, and where, when all of that happened. Neve tried to dispel that magic, but was unsuccessful twice, unfortunately. But he did reveal that he had rigged the first trial in the prince's favor, under the orders, or at least under the instructions of who he thinks to be the king. You haven't confirmed that yet. He also revealed to you that Tristan's brother died under the service of Duke Uller, clearing out the forest right before you guys came here. And that if you would like to investigate any of those happenings before you entered the woods, you should probably talk to the captain of the guard and or the quartermaster when you return to the palace. The night was coming to a close, and I believe right before you all bedded down for the night, Neve and Dove were going to sneak off to have a little bit of a conversation between the two of them about the future. Because, as I will remind all three of you, is that you guys will need to make a decision about the copious amounts of wild and naturey magic that may or may not be creating a new elven kingdom, fairy kingdom, currently residing in Neve's body. So, Raven has warned you that needs to be dealt with before you step out of the woods, which will be the next day. So, otherwise, as I get my everything together, that is where we will begin. The night is fairly calm. You had no real issues coming back from your hunt, as opposed to the many nights, rather sleepless nights, of ambushes and attacks. And so this is the perfect moment for Neve and Dove to sneak off if they would wish and have a little conversation. So, Premac, and where are you? Are you still sleeping in the tub? Or in the cart?
Yeah, I think seeing the others leave, Premac will keep an eye out, be up out of the tub. The tub's for resting. So out of the tub and on the cart.
Would you roll for me? You can do it publicly or otherwise.
Yes.
A perception that will be going on while you are keeping an eye on camp and the other two are having their conversation.
Sure. Terrible at this. Got bad lizard eyes. 8.
8. Okay. Cool. I will deal with that as we go forward. So Premac is sort of keeping an eye on camp. There's a rotation of guards going around the camp during the evening time. One from the prince's side and one from the princess's side, sort of walking around close to the borders of the camp at the very least. But you guys know the schedule at this point.
I'm far more distracted by the guards as they walk by and just looking at they don't hem their pants correctly. It's not even made for his size. That one's not even wearing The Kirk pants. Just like watching them go by.
Are you
distracted
saying
by-
it out loud?
Of course.
I figured. I knew in my heart what the
That's
answer
why I
was
use the
to that.
voice.
Yes. As these guards are passing you, they're like, Taylor is really mean. Just like walking off as Scott continues to be mean to my NPCs. So there is a break in the guards that you guys are very well trained for. Neve, how are you, one, signaling to Dove that this is happening, and also getting out and away and all this stuff to where you need to be?
Well, if I remember correctly, we already agreed to go have a conversation and convinced Premac not to come. So was there like more dinner left that we were waiting on? Like for everyone to kind of completely fall asleep?
You guys have sort of had a small sit down with Lord Nolan, probably
Right.
around dinner, and people are sort of filtering off to their tents to wind down for the evening.
Right. Okay. I would probably sit like at Premac's cart until it seems like almost everyone has gone to their tent. And then I would just, get up, try to catch Dove's eye, and just like point over towards the woods where there aren't guards at the moment.
I'll make eye contact and nod. Look to my birds. Pick 5. Now 6. I'll
Oh
need
yeah,
6.
I have a bird. I have a bird on my
You do.
shoulder, don't I?
have a
You have
bird.
1.
Yes. Yes, I have one. Excellent.
Saran, I believe.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yes. I'll pick 6 to come with me and leave the rest here. And then I'll come into the
Okay.
woods. Slip in.
I will actually go toward the woods near where Ursa is hiding.
Okay.
Just kind of like in that direction, so she's just like on the outskirts of this conversation. I could like call on her if needed.
Yeah,
If
go and
needed.
give me an
If needed.
insight check.
An insight check.
Insight. Or Arcana, I'll say either.
Oh, insight for sure.
Okay.
That is a 26.
Oh, a 26. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Very good insight. Neve, I'll say you're probably a little, like, this is going to be a serious conversation. You've probably run through at least a little bit of what you're going to say in your head, so you're feeling a little bit more sure of yourself, or at least in, like, feeling out yourself a little bit. And as you start walking into the woods, and especially, you can almost like instinctually where Ursa is. That you know exactly where you kind of created her in a sense.
Yeah.
She was something before, and then you've made her something else, and you can really feel this connection into the woods. It seems to only be growing stronger, so your feet turn automatically to where Ursa is, and you can head that a ways.
Cool. I will just kind of hang out like right at the edge of the woods, try to be a little bit out of sight of camp, but not too far off, and wait for Dove to join me.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. Crunch. Neve? Neve?
I'm right here.
Oh. Hello.
I wasn't even standing in the shadows. I was just right here.
It's dark out. It's hard. I was paying attention. I was thinking about why are you already? You're already attacking. Is this going to be is this going to be a battle? Is this the conversation? I'm ready. I'm ready to fight.
Roll
I
initiative.
hope not. So,
Yes.
I have this weird forest magic power thing.
Yes.
Seems like we should talk about it.
Yes. Well, I was speaking to some people, and they said you don't really need to be here all the time. Do you plan on being here all the time?
Well, no. I mean, well, I honestly hadn't thought that far ahead. I kind of had just settled on, I want to keep it. I do want to keep it.
Why do you want to keep the magic?
I like it.
Just for the power you can hold over others, or is there some more deep-seated... Is there a meaning to that, other than I like it? There's a difference between I like it and I need it, I want it and I need it. Is this more of a whim?
Which is better? To want it or need it? Is that like... Because need seems like a weird dependency kind of thing, whereas like is like... But I understand what you're saying about like a whim, maybe.
Yes. More that, it is obviously a large responsibility, and I don't... I mean, I could have a whole bunch of insults to say, but I'll try to speak amicably. Nobody should have that much responsibility. Even somebody who would be good at it. It's a lot of work to be the keeper of some kind of...
There's not really a court here. Like, it's not really a kingdom. It's kind of... It's just it's a forest.
It just feels so big. The energy of an entire forest. Like, the forests are something that I respect greatly.
You're telling me.
Well, yes, I am telling you. That's the point. It's just I know that you've had a rocky life, as have I, we all have, and I'd like you to find whatever you've been looking for all these years, because you've obviously been looking for something, because you never stay in one place for too long. I'm assuming you just haven't found it. I don't know if this is it, but it'll tie you down, may prevent you from looking.
Irevin said that it might be wise for me to split the power with someone. He said like it would right now he kind of siphoned a lot of it off to Ursa, so like, you know, that's a good thing right now, but it's probably not a permanent solution. But I would have to figure out, you know, the permanent solution before leaving the forest, and, you know, I was kind of thinking, what if it was you?
Insight check. You're playing with me, obviously. This can't be true.
Okay.
It's just dangling a fish in front of a cat. It's not real. I'm gonna roll. Oh, wow, I did so well. I got it 19.
Do I do a contested check, or do I
No, you can choose to reveal how you and Dove know each other very well, but it's been a while since you've seen each other. So you say this very vulnerable thing of asking Dove to share this power with you, and
my eyes go.
Yeah, Dove immediately goes on the defensive, and so you tell her how Neve reacts to that.
Gotcha. So you would immediately see that Neve is extremely nervous, but genuine about this. Like, it's the genuineness that's making them so nervous, and you can tell that they really haven't put that much thought into it. They are truly just following their gut, but their gut led them to Dove and to wanting to share this power with Dove.
Okay. Is there anything that we've ever done before that is equally, like, equal to this in our past? Like, where we've actually been real about something and been like, I need help with this?
Probably back when we were, like, actually working together, that brief time when we were on the road and, like, left the circus together is kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Then Dove would probably immediately just have flashbacks to that. Be like, that sounds nice, but this is more than just... This is much more than just running a caravan together. This is running a...
Yeah.
This is
I
running
know.
a forest together.
I mean, I guess it could be a... Well, I mean, it's not moving, so it's not really a caravan. But it is like a weird hodgepodge of things.
I mean, what do you mean it's not moving? The forest is always moving. It's always changing. Things are always evolving. It's an amazing thing.
Well, yeah, obviously. But, like, it's not, like, physically traveling across the land.
Debatable.
The speed that a caravan travels at.
Okay, that is
It's not
correct.
making a pilgrimage.
A very slow one, you could say. But
Does a
yes,
forest... Okay, well,
the forest grows outwards,
yes, but it doesn't, like,
which
it's
is
not going
a sort of...
to a place.
All right,
Unless,
we're getting
like-
stuck on a topic. All right. I mostly just panicked about the thought of it, and then I started getting into the weeds because it felt more comfortable.
Yeah, it's, you know.
I mean, I cannot deny how much I really enjoy being around nature. The time
You
that I
could have
spent...
all the birds in the forest. Think about that. They could all be yours.
Okay. That is a very... You're tempting me with little treats here. We need to think about the
Yeah.
responsibility part of it. What would we do? How would we would have to come back? Would we take turns? Do we still work together? Are you just giving this to me so that you can go off and do your whatever you're doing, and then I can go do whatever I'm doing? Or are we still going to travel? Do you still want to be partners?
I don't think there's much more partners we can get beyond sharing a magic bond power thing.
I suppose. I have, though, seen political partnerships, many, including current one with the princess. I'm assuming.
There is that.
I'm bad at reading people, but that I can figure out.
You're not that bad at reading people. You're pretty good at reading me, and I'm very difficult for other people to read.
Well, I think it's just been around here for a while. I don't know. Well, it obviously didn't work that well because of that one thing at that one time. And then, remember when I was in the forest for a really long time? That reason.
Look, okay.
Yes.
I'll admit, I'm not exactly the best at taking on responsibility and sticking with things.
Yes, okay.
But, I don't know why, but this is a responsibility that I want to take on. I don't really get it, but it feels nice. It feels like home. Or like it could be home. Or I don't know exactly. All I know is I want to keep it. I want to stay connected to this place. And I'm always better when you're around. was better at sticking things through and being responsible and not running away. I mean, I know I ran away once, but in general.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to bring it up. I really.
Yes, I know.
I was. What you said about you're going to be connected to the force and all that. We'd be connected for however long that this happens until the next cycle.
We would be gods of the forest. Yes, I think that is the thing. I think.
Yes. Well, mostly what I'm saying is if I were to ever be that connected to anybody, I would want it to be you. As you said, I think we work well together. We've always been good partners despite our differences. While we do argue, I think that it works out. Yes.
If we do this, I literally can't run away from you again.
And you do it? Oh, Bird's just gonna hug you. She's gonna reach over, she's just gonna grab you, she's gonna hug you.
It's like, whoa. Okay.
And it's a little too much. It's just a little too hard.
Yeah, there's like this solid moment of just like pure shock, stock stillness from Neve, and then they're just like, oh no, this is really nice. It just like leans in and hugs you back.
She's just gonna... Yeah. I mean, if this is what you want, then...
You'll do it?
Yeah. I mean, this is the dumbest decision I've probably ever made, and of course,
you
because I'm making...
are going to be the queen of the forest. You'll have a crown. You'll have so many birds. It's going to be amazing.
As you say that,
yes,
there is an energy here, and as you say, you'll have a crown. There is like a breeze that picks up around your feet. And starts swirling leaves and various things around you, and a little glimmer of something, like glitter in the air that sort of makes a halo behind you and starts wrapping around Dove as well. And Neve has probably felt promise bonds before. This feels a little different, but that process has started.
The bird looks around. Oh, this is quite I will say, I hope this isn't offensive, the fact that this is one of my first thoughts, but imagine that kind of name in the lights. Think of the show.
Oh. No, you're so right.
Yes.
Think of the stage we could create here.
We could grow the stage. It could be natural. It could be here.
We could grow it. We could have festivals here. We could...
Yes.
Ooh.
We could draw people in. We could make this forest even more than it even is. We could... I mean...
Exactly.
With
I mean, we should probably take it slow. Like, there's a lot to learn,
yes.
and I don't want to, like, mess up the forest for the animals too much. But,
we
like...
want to keep the ecosystem still, all right? We'll make sure that the paths are very... We'll make sure litter is a like, death sentence. Maybe not that.
Yeah, no littering.
Maybe just,
if you litter, you lose your head. Or your hands. Your hands are probably better. Because then they learn.
Is fine. Hands is fine. Or we just breed attack birds. I'm up for that as well. I've always wanted to train attack birds.
Why not both?
Which I did, of course.
I mean, the birds can keep an eye out for it.
Yes. Perfect.
As you guys start making these very harried plans and your excitement is growing about all of the things you can do with the forest, that talking about stages and bringing people into the forest to see your shows, a sense of like calm and peace and a very real excitement. You can almost feel it outside of yourself now, and like a little bit of life is getting put back into the woods. And Ursa, who has she's been around. Neve, you were very aware of where she was. Dove, you now feel her. It was probably a little harder to see exactly where she is in the trees, but the more you're like looking around the forest, you become more aware of this guardian that Neve made, and now you can tell where she is, and you start really being able to feel that sort of pulse of the woods, the same as Neve has, and the glimmer and the glow of whatever magic you guys had started hangs in the air, and you've definitely built something here. It's sort of at a precipice.
One, we should go talk to a raven and figure out how to do this like properly. Two, when a raven helped me split my power into Ursa, she kind of like was still herself, but also someone new and got a new name. And I don't know if maybe that will happen to you. So I just thought, like, do you still want to be Deirdre? Do you want to be Bird or Dove?
Oh my. That's actually a big thing to think about. What if I change? What if my personality changes? What happens? What is going to happen?
You hear a laugh from behind you as like Ursa is she like shaking her head, and it almost feels like the breeze coming off and shaking the leaves of and branches of the trees around you, and she sort of softly says, "You won't change. You change
and besides,
things.
People change all the time. That's just part of life. So, if you do change, that's okay."
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little scary, but at least you're here as well.
Yeah, let's go find a rabbit. I want to
I need to
grab her
think
hand
of
and just
names.
start like tugging her
towards
a raven's den.
I will be led.
Perfect. You start tugging Dove back towards camp. Premac, as this has been going on with your perception check, I will say the first thing is you definitely can sense a sort of shift in the energy of the woods around you. It feels suddenly, not suddenly, but it feels like things are calming. The nights had felt sort of tense as you were traveling here, and now it feels like someone has released a breath that they were holding. And you can almost pin that as soon as you kind of see out of the corner of your eye, Dove and Neve re-enter camp, sort of heads together, very excitedly, speaking quietly. And I will say within 8, I had a range of things you could notice. As they were talking, guards were on patrol. No one was giving you any problems. And just as you turn to see Dove and Neve come out of the woods, you also see Ursa sort of hovering behind them, and she sort of looks at them and then looks at you, and she has this very happy smile on her face, as if like something kind of sweet has happened here. And the way that you often feel when Dove and Neve talk to each other alone, this like sweat and weird social anxiety, not there. It is not there.
I got worried for a moment. The nearest guard who's walking by me, I stop them with my hand. My tail goes out, just puts on the chest for a second. I just turn to them and just like I'm in the middle of a conversation with them. Like, that I was having by myself, but just to the guard, I was just like, the wind picked up for just a moment there and I got a little bit worried about them, but it seems okay. Perhaps this time it's different. Carry on.
Okay. Guard is like, he thought you were including him in something, and he's like, okay, I'm being dismissed, and turns and goes.
Actually, as we go, I'm gonna look over at Premac and just be like,
Yes, no smell. You're right. It's just like lovely. Oh, yes. Jump off.
Beautiful. You guys can, all three of you can head to a Raven's tent.
just gonna barge straight in.
Yeah, you barge straight in. All three of you give me perception checks
Okay.
as you barge in.
17.
16.
16.
13.
13. Look at you guys. You all are for various reasons excited as you burst into a Raven's tent. You sort of push the flap back. And you have seen a Raven's tent before. It is certainly bigger on the inside. He has magicked it to be far more comfortable than a normal camping tent. And as you all are coming in, all three of you notice that a Raven...
It's dead.
He is standing at no. He is standing sort of at the back of his tent sort of room, so to speak, as he's enchanted it. Sort of like arms out on the table, like hunched over something, like he's reading something and checking notes. And he turns his head very quickly to look at you guys. And looks a little relieved when it's just you guys. Like he was a little on edge, but he sees you, relaxes, and says, "Oh, yes, you three.
Raven.
Of course it's you three. Yes.
Made a decision.
Oh, you've made a
taking the
decision.
power, and I'm splitting a dove.
Well, certainly exciting." He like turns to you, Dove, and is like, "Are you?"
Oh,
Are
I
you-
can tell it's a bad idea. Look at your face. Oh, God.
It's
No.
Yeah,
It's
a
not a
good
bad idea.
Shush.
It was no. It's not a bad idea. I'm just wondering, are you're elven of some variety?
Can you not tell? I'm half elf, of course. Looks very orc. Like, two teeth coming out, like, fully
Can't you
teal.
tell? I'm gonna go up and like poke her ears. Like, can't you tell?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Your lustrous hair was. This is fine.
He doesn't
Well-
see it in you.
Raven looks like
That's what
very
he's trying to
offended.
say.
Not now. Wonderful. I'm glad you decided to
And to think
share-
you're an artist, you can't notice the fine details. I'm sorry. Continue.
regretting his choices immediately. That's wonderful. You've decided to share the magic. Awesome. Thank you for informing me.
Is that
I thought you
safe for
said there
them?
was a ritual to complete.
Oh, I mean, there could have been. It didn't you already do? Like I can see the tether.
Oh, is it?
You've already made
Is it already done?
Yes. And he like looks between you two and is like, I don't know how to explain seeing the weaves of magic. Sort of like poking around at it. Maybe that's something I could teach you well. It might be something useful for you. But no, it's a little tenuous right now, but it'll grow with time. It's not something that's like a one and done sort of deal.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I expected like a ceremony or something. I was starting to think of like words I'd have to say. Oh, that it's done. It's done.
This sort of magic is a little bit more. I don't want to say the word feral because that seems to imply some things, but it's a little bit more natural. It's going to grow with you, and I will say, sharing it between the two of you, probably a good idea, but also you should be aware that it is somewhat going to be built off of you two. So, usually this sort of magic is built on the person and their own feelings about themselves. You'll just have to deal with that.
Now, for clarification, it's safe. Like you're saying, knowledge, like growing off them, like knowledge would now like a tumor between them somehow.
Yeah, it's not dangerous. It's just going to be fueled by whatever they put into it. So if you're sharing this magic in a whatever relationship, you'll just have to manage it. It's going to be a reflection of the both of you.
Didn't explain this part.
Well,
That's a
it's
little
sort of hard to
embarrassing.
explain.
I didn't know. I thought it was going to be a ritual or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's not bad.
you can do a ceremony if you'd like to do a I would probably
We
wait
should
until
do-
you're crowning for that.
like
Like
pregnant
crowning?
and like
No. Like we're going to put crowns on your head. Like we're going to
all
give
right.
you. You're not. It's not a coronation because there's going to have to be two of you. Coronations. No, you'll
When
have to
did this
craft your
happen?
crowns and do all this. Whenever you're ready. It's not something that you just say, I'm going to pick this date, and that's when I'm going to put a crown on my
Do you
head.
feel ready? Is it like a
You'll
Does it
know.
just does it just kind of manifest, or is it like, does someone else take a crown and put it on our heads?
Oh, no, you're going to have to do that yourself.
Oh, okay. So we'll just
do we grow
manifest
the
it.
crown? It comes up?
No, you could. I'm not exactly familiar with Mingorn's magic. It's been quite some time since I've been here.
Oh my.
I guess just watch out for a crown growing out of your forehead.
Oh gosh. It's going to
I will
mess up.
keep
I've been
2
rocking
eyes
this
on it.
hairstyle for like 10 years. This is gonna really mess things up.
Perfect time for change. Becoming a ruler.
I must say, I like this very direct speech you are exhibiting. It's perfect.
Thank you. I feel like I really haven't been answering your questions, but I can only answer so many as I know, and I'm not an expert on the Mingorns. So you'll have to do a little bit of learning for that.
Is there someone else we can ask?
the boy.
I could see.
Does-
The last rulers of the Mingorns lived a very long time ago, and they're very dead. So
Are
Do
there
you
any
know anyone who can speak with
books or
dead people?
records about them?
Or that?
I wouldn't imagine there are any in Silvar currently. There could be some old history books. You could ask the princess. The Lys is a very knowledgeable city. It's a center of study, and it's a little bit more forgiving, so she may have more insight. I could give you names, and I could give you dynasties and titles, but I don't know how useful that would be, since it's
No, I'd rather
hundreds of
not
years
know.
old.
No.
We'll save the
Oh,
history
I see.
lesson for later.
Yes, I figured that might be your answer.
It was a strange boar noise.
With a bird, a weird
There's a
bird out there.
vuvuzela in the background. Well, congratulations, I guess, are in order. Don't break the forest.
We will do our best.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Yes.
I am very impressed with your dedication to working together on this.
Indeed.
Thank
Yes, it's
thank
going to be
you.
very important for you two.
I mean, we've been partners before in things, and I think we can have a very good partnership in this as well.
Raven looks at Premac. It's like,
It ended
To, like-
terribly, so I understand.
Yeah,
So, like-
thank you for saying what I trusted you to give the harsh truth.
Yeah, to like prove the
No.
point, Dove like rubs the sweat off her hand, and then grabs Neve's hand. It's like, yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect partners.
Yes.
I totally
It'll be
believe you.
fine.
It'll be fine. Things young rulers have to deal with. Well, lovely. Can I help you with anything else tonight?
No, I don't think so. We just thought we needed to inform you. I don't know.
I
well,
do appreciate the information. Oh, yes, Premac.
You look like you were looking at something interesting, and Premac will just walk over to the desk to see what was
Yes,
what was on the desk.
we should snoop.
Give me a
There's no way
dexterity check where you're going to contest how fast you can get there and how fast a raven can get there.
Straight dexterity?
Straight dexterity.
6.
Oh no! Oh no!
6.
Raven definitely rolled better than that. You look at a raven and you're like, you look like you were doing something interesting, and he is already moving to his table and is like, yes, and moves some
Oh.
things. Yes,
want
very
to
interesting
ask you-
things.
It seems like they're going to kidnap the princess for the second trial.
Yes.
He
Forgot
like
about that.
there's a conniption happening across his face as soon as you say that. They're going to what?
Well, we were talking to Lord Nolan, and he wouldn't say it outright, but he said that essentially the main trial will be on the prince's shoulders, but the princess will still be participating. And so we did some other digging about like traditions in the area, and they have like a they play games around weddings of Save the Princess and things like that. So he also said Dane would not be happy. So I am going to go out on a limb and say they're going to kidnap the princess, and the prince will have to save her for trial number 2. We haven't said anything to Dane because I am afraid it will make her extremely unhappy, but it seemed like maybe you should be aware.
I appreciate this knowledge, anxiety you've given me. Thank you.
I thought it would help.
Maybe you
Yeah,
could get yourself kidnapped too if you just stick around her, and then whoopsies, you're kidnapped together.
Yes, double kidnapping sounds perfect.
Well, she'll have company. It's probably quite lonely being kidnapped. You can keep her safe in her whatever kidnapped cell she's in.
While I am also kidnapped and potentially a prisoner.
Yes.
Extenuating circumstances can really push people together.
Indeed. Yes. Have you ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
Well, this wouldn't be Stockholm Syndrome.
yes.
'Cause he's not the one trapping her.
The fantastical city of Stockholm.
It's in the Feywild. Don't worry about it.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. I
I read it in a book one time. It was a weird one.
as much as I truly find your help in my personal life very sweet. You
Yes.
didn't remember why the three of you are here, correct?
No.
I mean,
It's
royal weddings. It's mainly about like the show of it all. You know, they're not really expected to be in love. Like
Yes, but the key word is
all of the
wedding.
monarchs have, Sorry, what?
The key word is wedding. They're getting married.
yeah,
Yeah,
my
but-
understanding of all of the groups, all of the individuals around the wedding are often hooking up in some way
Exactly, like-
leading up to it.
Yes. Yes.
Like
You could say that we are, like, me and Neve are now sort of married in a partnership bond with the forest. So it's like everything is happening in some sort of. Ooh, I just realized what I said. That's a little weird. Now I'm going to think about that for a while later. Everything is. There's a lot of connections happening here now, and it's strange.
Yeah. So
sorry,
they're
I'm
going
just
to-
realizing that I kind of propose to you? Okay,
Yes.
we're
That's gonna need to be unpacked eventually.
mhm, mhm.
They're
I
going
don't
to
know
be
what-
married. They're expected to produce heirs and a dynasty and
So
Why are we talking about them
you
having
can
children
have
right now?
relationships with multiple people at once. I'm just saying. And also, it's for the dynasty, so like it's the duty, but that doesn't have to do with the heart. And there's like all kinds of romance novels about this. Come on.
yes, I am not the type of person to be a mistress. I don't.
Have you read
Nope.
the book Three's Company and I'm a Businessman?
No, I have not read that.
Another
You're going to
fake.
have to get me a copy.
I will. I will. That one may help you with this.
You can become her royal advisor.
Yes.
And advise her on many things.
Yes.
Far beyond the court.
Many.
Yes,
What are we
a
doing? We're terrible
royal
people.
advisor. I will let you in on a tiny secret. In that the princess is not the primary reason I'm here. She's one of them, but not the only one.
Oh.
So just be aware of that. I would like you to certainly. He's like regretting the fact that he's engaging in any of this conversation at all with you guys.
Entry in conversation with us, period, was a mistake.
Yes, as the
Always
relief
is.
on his face when he saw it was you three was immediately combated with, "Oh God,
Oh God, it's
these
them."
three."
Yeah.
While I think it's very adorable that you all are very keen in helping my supposed affair, there are other matters that both the princess and I are bound to have to deal with. And so I appreciate the help. I appreciate the sentiment. It's all very fine to joke about it. However,
Okay.
maybe it's
What
not
are the
to be.
What are the other
Well,
matters that you have to? We might be able to help you with those. At least if we can't help you with your relationship, then maybe we can help you with the other matters.
For you up
I-
the relationship.
Yes.
Yes. I have put some thought into bringing you all into the fold, so to speak. We'll talk back at the palace once I can check in
So-
on some things.
Just real quick, you're saying there is more going on with this wedding than the royal wedding itself, you, a Fey entity, just being here, and whatever strange aberration summoning process is happening right now?
You're asking some very direct questions here. Give me an insight check
Okay.
so you can sort of see how he's responding. All three of you can do an insight check. if you'd
26,
like.
that's a nat 20.
Oh, you got
Oh God!
That's my second nat 20 on an insight
Oh my
check.
God!
I got 12.
12.
I'm in the
Remax?
forest, man.
Oh man.
Premac is much more trying to piece together if there's anything left on the table that he can see.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's totally fine. Premac, then roll me investigation instead of insight.
19.
Ooh, 19. Okay. So as you're asking these questions of a Raven, you see him sort of, there's like a flicker of something very amused, and a Raven suddenly looks a little bit older, like he shifts a little, and the sort of laid back but stressed wizard that you knew, he's a little bit straighter of spine, a little bit more sure of himself as he starts talking about the other reasons why he's here. And he sort of looks at the two of you because you're asking questions. Remind me exactly the questions that you asked him.
I asked. I'm going to summarize it because I can't remember.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm running through every like weird thing that has happened in big event that we know
Yes.
about, including the weird aberration, and asking essentially yes or no. There is more happening than what we already know is happening.
Yes. All of that. He is very. He pauses. There's a consideration as he says, I cannot speak to the aberrations. That is certainly a wrinkle in the plans that I would like to be laying. The other things that I am dealing with in the palace and for the wedding, you can't imagine a hag interrupting welcome ceremonies, attacks in the hall. All of these things surrounding this event should strike you as strange.
See, I assumed that was part of whatever plan was happening with the aberration, but now that you
Yeah.
say, that doesn't make any sense.
It's Fey things.
Yes.
The Fey things.
Yeah.
An aberration doesn't seem like that.
No. It does not. So I'm concerned as to the fact that they were happening at the same time.
Yes.
More the dark and seedy side of the Fae, and aberrations. Well, they're not really supposed to be together,
Yeah.
so there is some investigating to be done. And while I cannot inform you of my goal and my ultimate endpoint, I will say, in the honest truth of it, that I have no desire to see harm come to either royal party, and it is more important to me that I find out why these things are happening all together, all at once.
You can't say, as in you can't because of some kind of like magical contract, or you won't say because we are who we are, etc.
A little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Fair, I guess.
It's not a contract per se, but
I
there
mean,
are certain
something
risks in
binding, I guess. Like a physical can't. Whoa!
Saw that lightning before we heard it.
There's an omen.
An
Say
omen
anything.
arrives.
crash of thunder and lightning outside.
As
The
he goes
storm
to
hits.
spill the magical secret, he's like, whoa.
I will say, I am not bound in any way, shape, or form to anyone but one person. And that person doesn't necessarily... They have my protection. They have my confidence. It wouldn't interfere with this.
I should add, this is not a judgment on you or your trustworthiness, because I understand sometimes you can't share things for non-magical binding reasons, but we did just talk to a man who literally couldn't speak to us because of a magical binding. So, you know.
Oh, no, I can speak freely about these things. I just... Revealing my plans to you three, he, glances at Premac, who's inspecting his desk, and he's just like,
We'll get there.
Yes. Premac, as this is happening, and you're hearing him, talk about all these things, you are getting a very interesting picture on his desk. There's a couple papers scattered around and some books. Are you picking anything up, or are you, touching anything on the desk?
Whether he may not be stealthy about it all, but his tail would absolutely be. So he's kind of keeping it, intentionally trying to keep his hands, but doesn't even realize his tail is picking up things at the edge of the desk, and then he's looking at them and putting them down. His tail's wrapping around up the underside of the desk and coming up the other side and just shuffling a piece of paper away. He's looking underneath of that one. Yeah.
Give me a sleight of tail check.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, a dirty 20. Okay. Yeah, your tail manages to grab. I'll say you can grab 3 pieces of paper off of the desk.
Ooh. Okay.
You can't inspect them right now, but you do grab 3 pieces of paper. The papers on the desk are unfortunately, some of them are written in Common, some of them are written in what you know to be Elvish, the more common form of Elvish.
Mhm.
And then there's drawings. The books are old. They don't have a title. They look to be like maybe journals or sketchbooks or something. They don't have anything like embossed or engraved in them to let them be identifiable. And there's also a map that is a map of this Lianan, which is the continent you all are on. There's nothing drawn on the map. It's just a sort of empty topographical map with various points of like towers and cities drawn in, and some notes around it. But as soon as he's like, I really don't want to take you all into my confidence, and looks at you because Premac is who Premac is, and is very open with his truths, I will say. He's just like, oh, like puts a hand out and sort of starts stepping between you and the table. If I can assure you of anything, it is that I don't mean to act in any way against the 3 of you, and I mean no harm to the royal couple.
The fact that you've said that twice makes it more suspicious, but
Like, I want to insight him. I don't necessarily disbelieve him.
I will say,
I'm trying to.
you don't even need to do an insight check for this. You, and now to some extent, Dove, I think, know, one, you sort of know that Aravan is not just some, like, elven man.
Yeah.
That there's something, he's got, like, weird other fae magic. He's more in touch with, certainly, the elfy side, than anything else. More so than any elf you've seen. If he is speaking this directly and making clear statements, he's certainly not lying about the things he's saying. Whether he's saying it to cover up or obfuscate, that's a different story. That's some fae bullshit. But he's certainly not lying about those 2 things. And he wouldn't be saying it in this way if he wanted to get around that.
Okay, then what I want to do, and you tell me what kind of role this would be. I want to kind of like tap into whatever fae magicness I have now and look at his kind of demeanor, how he holds himself, everything I know about him. And I want to see if I can identify him. If I can figure out who he is. Because he mentioned it, either you or he mentioned at one point that we had already heard of him. And so I want to try to figure that out.
okay.
I will say to you, to just clarify that point, he told you that you have already heard his name.
Right. And so I want to call upon whatever, like, and I know Uli knew of him, and so I want to call upon whatever, like, fae lore that I've heard or read about, and, like, whatever connection I have to the forest to see, can I figure out who he is?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I keep...
Yeah.
No, I want to help in some way, because one, I'm connected now, and 2, I have primeval awareness, plus fae are my favorite enemies, which means I have advantage on intelligence checks about them. So if there's any way that I can like sense or feel a connection to what Neve is doing, I would like to assist in any way I can.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to say Neve's going to roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
And you're going to add... Dev, do you get like a modifier or something to add on to your rolls about identifying things?
So when I make an intelligence check to recall information about Fae, I get advantage. That is how it is.
Okay.
So it would be like, I think +5 is the normal thing for advantage, like the modifier.
Yes. I will say
I already have a +1 normally on
Okay.
intelligence.
so the roll that's going to happen is so I'm making furious notes. Is Arcana check from Neve
Mm-hmm.
plus whatever Dove's insight is, add the +1 that you would have. So what is your modifier for insight rolls, Dove?
2. Not very high.
Maybe not insight then, because I'm second guessing my insight check. You, because it's not advantage. It's not exactly insight. Let me look at your sheet, because I have a feeling that I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I just want to make sure. Because basically what you're doing,
It has anything to do with wisdom. I'm bad at it.
it's not wisdom exactly, because you do have the natural connection to the forest now that's being built, but it's not settled yet. Like, it is not there for you in the way that Neve has sort of been getting used to it. It's very new. So,
Hey, viewer, would you like to also look at our sheets? You can find them in the description on YouTube down
Yay.
below. Our D&D
thank
Beyond
you
character
for that
sheets are there.
stall for time.
What
as
an
I-
excellent
You are-
plug.
You could certainly take a look at it. As we lose hit points, you can see it live.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can
I
see
can.
my inventory that I don't keep track of because I don't.
I
And
have to
I
write
did-
in
I-
3 stolen wizard pieces of paper.
Yes.
You all can see the exact modifier for wisdom saving throws that Dove has, which is very funny to me, and I forget that.
It's I'm just a little clueless about some things.
What's your saving
happens.
throw for wisdom?
-1.
Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
have a
That's
negative
my
one
saving
for-
throw for intelligence.
And mine for
Okay, yeah.
charisma.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Well-rounded party.
We
Yes.
balance each other.
Nothing stupid.
Or
It
speak at the wrong time.
You know, you don't have any builds meant for that sort of thing. So I'm gonna say Neve is gonna roll a Arcana check
Mhm.
+4.
Okay.
So do an Arcana check with whatever what your modifiers is, and then you're gonna add 4,
Okay.
3 from Dove, and a 1 from something else.
Okay. That is
Boy.
close to an 11.
Oh,
You're rolling it with advantage because of Dove's thing. Remember.
Ah. See,
Okay.
way better.
22.
Yes.
A 22.
The generous DM.
In any other game, I would take you to Whispers, but I can't.
Oh.
Do we take out? Do we
We can go to break too, or we can do
no,
whatever you want.
because I think this is better,
Okay.
and especially because Dove would be getting some of this as well. You are trying to identify a Raven.
Yes.
And you're trying to use your new magic to do it.
Mm-hmm.
As you are tapping into this, you have felt this magic before. You've made Ursa. You've used it to help your friends in the battle against the creature in the pond. And you've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it. It comes a little bit more naturally to you. And that bond you now have with Dove, as the thunder begins to roll through, has certainly made it feel like it's easier to touch and access. You pull on that string to give yourself a little bit more power here to identify him. You get the sense as you sort of blink open your eyes, and Raven was mentioning that like he can see sort of those bonds of magic between you and Dove. Mm-hmm. You can see that now. You can sort of see something about you can like trace the bond between you and Dove. You even see a few like wispy strands between you and Dove and Premac that are a little bit different. They feel a little less natural, a little bit more the flavor that you're getting from this bond, if we're gonna put it to flavor, is man-made. Like you are forging that a little bit differently.
Oh, interesting.
Than the sort of natural magics that you're invoking for you and Dove. Raven is something that is both different and feels very familiar. And the feeling that you got when Raven helped you make Ursa, it was like calling to like.
Mm-hmm.
The magic that you were using. Raven has something like that, but it's not the same.
Right.
It's just different enough that you're trying to put a name to it, as you're pulling a little bit more and more at this magic, trying to get a name, a feeling, something. And you can just see for a moment the aura around Raven. He's hiding himself. Very clearly.
Right.
So something is blocking that. And as soon as you get that peak that magic is somewhat similar to your new magic, he realizes a little bit of what you're doing, and you almost watch it all coil back into him. And he just smiles.
I grin at him and I say, all right, good night. Talk to you tomorrow. And I will turn and leave the tent.
Thank you for the hospitality and for inviting us. It was very pleasant. And let's just turn and walk out.
I didn't invite you. All right.
You always just walk in.
You just barge in whenever you want. All right. Do you guys have anything else you would like to do before you attempt to rest for the evening? Yes.
I have things.
Going to get in the tub and look at what I found.
Okay. So Primac's going to look over the pages.
Yep.
Deb, what is your plan?
I was gonna go into the forest and find some nice flowers.
Okay. I think that can absolutely happen. But I think we are due a little bit of a break. I know I would like to stretch a little bit. We're going to take a 10-minute break here. And so we'll be back in 10. We're going to hydrate. We're going to unroll our shoulders. And we will see you back in 10 as you do the same. And we will return to discuss intrigue and flowers after. Yeah, you missed the crack of the neck, which says,
Crack,
we're
crack.
back!
And the horrible face I made.
Yes. My joints only cause pain to even those around me.
Relatable.
We're back from the break. Hopefully you got water. You unrolled your shoulders. You're in a comfy spot. And we return, having left a Raven. Really not sure that he feels any better about you three than when you saw him last. And
We gave him valuable intel, though.
you did.
We'll work
the
on it.
princess is going to be kidnapped.
Yes, and he is so happy about that. Premac has managed to snag some papers off of a Raven's desk in his tent, though, and is reading them. And Dove, you were going out into the forest. Do you let your party members know that you're going off there?
Oh,
You're
muted.
muted.
Thank you. I might have just wandered away, but I'm assuming, considering everything, they probably would see me begin to wander away, and then I'd be like, just going to grab some forest items. I'll be right back.
I would imagine that I could kind of keep track of her location through the forest magic stuff, or at least I'm going to try to kind of passively just like keep, sort of like I do with Ursa, just like generally aware of where she is.
Yeah. All right.
Location tracking on my phone. They're gonna
Basically, you've turned on Life 360. I will say let's do Dove's first, and then that will be Premac's time to read the notes. And Scott, you can decide how you want to share any of that information.
Sure.
So, Dove, you're going off into the forest.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for some flowers. Is there any see, Abby doesn't know very much about flowers. Dovewood. Can I try to describe to you the type of flower that I want, and then you will tell me if it's there or not? Okay.
Yes.
I would like a flower that I would like the type of flower that doesn't bloom very often or is very difficult to grow, or something that yes. Or maybe something that only blooms at night. Something like that.
Yes. Absolutely. Let me actually. The flower. There is a flower. That's a long name of one that I don't.
Not the Latin name, please.
No. That would be unpronounceable. There's a flower called Queen of the Night. It only blooms at night, and its flowers wilt at dawn. I can find a.
Oh my! There's might be like an opera or something, because that's all I got on my Google.
Yes, there is also an opera.
Okay.
But they come in. I think they're a derivative of orchids.
Yeah.
That's a stock photo. Don't mind me just Google searching here for a second. I can actually, this is the joys of Owlbear, is that if I get my stuff together, I say stuff. I'm trying to be very cognizant. I can. It should load
Aw.
a Queen of the Night.
There. Thank you. Okay.
Not fully in bloom as it's light out, but it will.
Yes. It will. Okay. I'd like to
Well,
find
it's
them.
dark because we waited until.
It's
to have
dark
our
for you
convers-
guys. The image of the flower here is not.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Oh, I actually misinterpreted that as well. Thank you. All right. I want to go out and I want to look for those.
Mhm.
And once I find them, I will, I guess, whip out the full glaive and
Yes, absolutely.
find two flowers that look pretty nice and try to make. I spend a little bit too long making sure they seem very similar and even. So like a sibling would look at ice cream for too long to make sure it's the same ice cream that both people get, so nobody's like getting more, and that would be
Yeah.
I make sure they're very similar. Once they're similar enough, I slice them off. I leave a decent amount of stem though. Hopefully there is a decent amount of stem. And then I'm very sorry about this, but I will need to borrow these. Hopefully you can grow more. I'll have some birds poop near you, maybe. Hopefully that'll be enough of a payment. Thank you. Good evening. Then I'll leave. And I'm going to, I guess, Premac's busy right now. So.
Premac is reading.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm gonna try to do this on my own. I'd like to, I'll using my glaive, I try to thin the stem out so it's thin enough. So it's kind of like a ribbon-like stem, so it's easily malleable. And I will take these one, and I want to tie them. One of them I'm going to tie in like a bracelet-like thing. And the other one I'm going to just hold on to. And then I'm going to go find Neve.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Neve has probably after seeing Dove walk away, followed Premac back to the tub and just kind of flopped in the cart next to the tub, and has dug around in their bag and pulled out some paper and pencil and is sketching stuff and is probably talking to Premac, but Premac is probably, I'm assuming Premac is looking at the papers and may not be paying attention in return. So that's where Neve's at.
Okay. I wonder if I could do an experiment. I will we'll see what happens. I'll go find Neve if this doesn't work, but I'd like to sit somewhere in the forest on a nice log, and I want to try to talk to her. I'm gonna try to ping her, just think real hard.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, come on over here. I'm sitting on this log.
Roll me and roll me a nature check plus your spell casting.
Okay. Nature plus my spell casting.
So nature, use that modifier, and then add your additional plus whatever your.
My spellcasting modifier is -1. My nature is 1, so it'll be a straight roll if that's the case.
Beautiful.
Okay. I'll just roll a d20.
Yeah, just roll a d20.
Oh my god.
This is going very well.
I'm not. Oh, did it do it? I have to click roll. Ooh, I got an 18.
Ooh, okay, not bad. Yeah, it takes you a moment. It takes some focusing and some energy. And as you're focusing very hard on trying to ping Neve. You've made a bracelet out of one of them, and the other
Yes.
one is normal.
Yes, the other one so far is normal.
Are you talking into the one that is a bracelet?
I'm talking into the normal one, like a
The
microphone.
normal one. Okay. So you're holding the flower, focusing very hard on it, almost to the point where you don't notice that the one you've started crafting starts closing up as the other one unfurls in your hands a little bit. But you do feel a slight, like, oh, okay, I've got it. And you give a little tug on the magic that binds you and Neve. And Neve, you feel like a slight, like a slight brush on the back of your neck of like that tug of your connection to Dove.
And since I've been passively kind of paying attention to where she is, can I tell how far away she is from me?
You can tell the direction. It's a little vague in sense of how far. You know she's not far.
Can I tell if it's more than 120 feet?
I will leave. So I will say you can probably guess that pretty well. I think how far Dove has gone, it's probably within 120 feet. Yeah.
Okay. Then
Sure,
I will feel that little tug and I will pull out a wire and cast message in that direction and say, "Everything good?"
Did it work? Did I do this? Was this me? That was the goal. Did you? Are you on your way? It probably cut off at some point.
Yeah. I felt it like a tug, and so I'm sending this is a message spell.
But that wasn't the point. I was trying to use some magic. I was trying to use the new magic.
But
This is the,
I
this is
felt
the
the
old
tug.
magic. Oh, you could have followed the tug. Come on, I mean,
Okay. All right. Okay.
just even find me.
Okay. I'm gonna pack up all my stuff. I'll be right back. And
Yes,
follow.
I'll take one too, please. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Don't pay any attention. Just follow the tug to wherever Dove is.
Go ahead and roll me a nature check.
A nature check.
Dove is also just like she's talking
There it is.
into the flower the whole time. So there is a light whisper murmuring going on from whatever direction she's in.
It's a 10.
Wander in that direction that is approaching Dove. You definitely get closer. It's definitely getting there. But it's not feeling quite as natural as before. To the point where you definitely feel Ursa's kind of presence materialize a little bit more solidly around you, and she looks at you like, "What are you doing?" She's that way, and she points you in the direction that Dove is.
Thank you. Still getting used to this.
Yeah, Dove, it takes you longer than you were probably hoping for Neve to find you.
I just stumble through the underbrush. I'm here.
It worked, sort of. Maybe. Not really.
Eventually, we got there.
Yeah. I feel like it may take some work. Mostly, sorry. I was gonna just come get you, but then I thought it might be fun to do a little test. I wanted to I thought we were gonna do like a ceremony and stuff, but we didn't do a ceremony and stuff, so it feels a little weird. I mostly just wanted to say thank you for trusting me with all of this and all of that. And I guess that we're not perfect. and we don't really work together all the time. But I think that we can work on it. And I mean, just like how this was a little bit difficult, it'll get easier the more we spend time together and all that. I wanted to also, what is Neve wearing? What are you wearing?
Neve is wearing their usual, like the magical armor that shifts with them. Their usual. Sorry. They look like Mannequin, and they're wearing their like usual entertainment outfit that Mannequin wears.
Okay. They'll just walk up and take the one that she didn't make into a bracelet and put it on Neve like a chorus, like a little thing on your chest. And can you help me?
Yeah, I'll help like try to figure out like kind of tuck it in a collar.
Yeah, absolutely.
There. And I'll try to put mine on with one hand, and then it takes a second, and then I mostly just like, okay, now I need you to do. Sorry, it was going to be really
I'll
sweet
like try
and everything.
to
I have
tie
a
it
thing I'll
on.
say after this. Thank you. Okay. Well, really, the message is, well, we don't work all the time, but then sometimes we're really like beautiful and all that, and then sometimes we're not. That was the message.
He was just like staring at Dove and grinning.
Oh yeah.
I was just they're gonna step up and pull Dove into a hug.
Oh, we're gonna squish. Okay.
Okay.
It's fine. The flower's fine.
Yeah, no care for the flower, just like full on. If the flower survives, the flower survives.
Yeah.
Either way, this is kind of like, this will be the ceremony and all that, and I just wanted to say that I think that I would like to be, I think I want to be Swan. I think that's the name.
Swan.
Yes.
That's so pretty.
Thank you.
Do you want me to start calling you that now, or do you want to keep it like that's your real name, but you still go by the stage name Bird?
Oh,
Duh.
we should. Yes. Well, we should probably keep it on the down low then, because it would have a lot of power now. So just call me Dove. But yes.
Okay.
I'll be your swan now, and we will do the thing.
Sorry, that's me personally dying. Oh, yeah. Well, I left all my shit back at camp, but I started sketching like crown ideas or possibilities. And I was trying to get Premax input. I think he's kind of distracted, but like, maybe at some point he can give his opinion as a tailor or whatever.
Yes, that's actually a very good point.
But let's go back and I'll show you what I have so far.
Yes, let's do that. Okay. Come with you.
Yeah, start heading back.
Okay.
That was what I wanted to do. I'm done.
Yeah. Premac, you definitely heard Neve as they were prattling at you, but you were focused on other things, and you registered that they kind of went off. But you have some more important investigations to do. So you have 3 notes that you're reading while they are doing this. One was in Common. One was in what you know to be Sylvan, and one was in Elvish. You can read the first one just fine. How would you like to go about trying to figure out? Would you like to wait for your friends, or would you like to attempt something else?
Well, as he has been doing with everything else, he was going through various other documents and things and stuff like this, and trying to get comfortable while Neve was there. And then as Neve left, he thought that maybe she was getting something hot to drink, and so I'll take one of those as well. and eventually is just like, okay, settled. Everything is good. I'm in the tub. Everything is perfect. And pulls out the first one in English, has the 3, and just begins reading out loud because he doesn't have much in terms of the way of privacy. So not particularly loud, but starts reading off by himself. To my brightest star, dearest, do not concern yourself with my fate. You and I both know that our destinies could never be as we wished. I didn't want a sad story before bed. While I cherished our time, I must go my path and you go yours. I am deeply sorry for the fact that you will continue on beyond any I could ever imagine. I know our agreement, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's fine. Moves on to the next one. Sylvan. I've seen enough of this lately. Another one for someone else to read. Next one, Elvish. And as looking at the Elvish one, kind of like squinting because he's not sure what it is, there's like, suddenly gets this like, this kind of pain in his chest. Looks down and rubs, and he's kind of reminded of where like the Fey magic hit him before it kind of repelled against him and ended up going into Neve. Just kind of, and as he's rubbing that, instead of tracing along with his finger like he had been, his tail comes down over his shoulder and starts tracing out the elven characters. And as he's kind of there, he just starts looking back up at the sheet and says, A, you were right. Dark whispers bring darker news. The humans do much to damage the veil. End it, or air and darkness has a chance again. Kind of looks at the tail. The tail. Can you do that on the other one? Goes back to the second page. Try it. Tail comes down, starts tracing the letters, and he starts to read the second one that was in Sylvan. Sir, your presence is missed at home. You have been gone too long. You will need to return soon, we beg of you. I know your heart lies outside of yourself now, but it will not be forever. Do not abandon us for the wisp of smoke that mortals be. Orion. Well done. And Premac has cast his first spell of comprehend languages.
That's delightful.
Completely is flabbergasted by how it's happened and is convinced at the moment that his tail has something to do with it. But we'll wait for his friends to return. He's still rubbing though. His chest feels like warm.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys return to Premac talking to seemingly himself, but seemingly very
Normal.
proud. Yeah. And there's like a little taste of magic in the air.
And I will... you didn't bring it back? That's fine. I didn't need it anyways. It's
What?
okay if you forgot.
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
I didn't get tea.
I see that, unfortunately. So
Uh-huh.
there was well, perhaps you might enjoy reading these. It's a bit gossipy and some of it's all sad and scary, unfortunately, but it's interesting reading. And I'll hand over all 3 documents. But again, the first one, they're in our Discord channel, but the first one is essentially to my brightest star. Don't concern yourself with my fate. You and I both knew that our destinies could never be as we wished. And kind of sounds like sad we had to part. And then the final part that he didn't read out loud was, I know our agreement was for you to follow, but it breaks my heart that it will be the last chance we have together. Then there was one in Sylvan that you're present from someone named Orion saying sir. You need to return soon. And do not abandon the wisp of smoke that mortals be. And something about you, I know your heart lies outside of you now, but it will not be this way forever. And the one in Elvish, I assume you can both read Sylvan and Elvish, is A, you were right. Someone named A, you were right. Dark whispers bring darker news. The humans do much to damage the veil. End it, or air and darkness has a chance again. So Premac seems just, for the very sad and dark letters here, very chuffed at the moment. Just kind of like, I can read them too.
Surprisingly, I can't read Elvish, but I do read the other two.
Dave, like, it takes him a moment to be like, oh, this is Sylvan.
Yes. I guess we were feeling a little left out. And he seems to be like looking at his tail like, yeah.
Did you? I'm gonna immediately cast my my primeval awareness to figure out if he suddenly became Fae from the weird shit that's happened. Like, oh, what the hell?
Is he touched by the force too?
Yes. How did he get into this? What's happening? Is he Fae?
Definitely not Fae.
Oh, okay.
Uniquely Premac.
Okay. Not Fae.
So I will admit I'm not even sure I meant to take those, but they seem delicate subject matter, perhaps is the best way to put it.
Definitely.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It's interesting though. It's interesting. While we were in there, I tried to figure out a little bit more about who he is, and I'm pretty sure he's also some kind of Fey ruler, like the kind like I am with the forest, but he has some other thing that he's ruling.
Do you mean the way that we are? The two of you now?
Yeah.
It's important that you move from that I to we after, so I understand.
Slip of the tongue. Yes, like we are, but instead of for the forest, for somewhere else.
Then do we know the rulers of Fey things? Are there other forests? Or there's like the Fey places?
Well, I don't really know who all the rulers are. I know this in like a vague sense.
I never
mean-
studied history. It was never really a big deal for me.
I read some at some point. I mean, I was curious because what am I? But there's really not much written about changelings, so I kind of just moved on.
Premac only read previously Draconic and Common, but he's very well read and has a very good history and proficient in history. Is there anything I would have read about other Fae things that common like that non-Fae might have written about?
You would know some of the histories of the fairy wars that were a few centuries ago. You would know that there used to be multiple kingdoms and courts on both this continent and others. But when the Fae lost those wars to the humans, they left to cross the sea and go to the other world, which you don't know what its name is. That's just what people have been calling it because no human has gone and come back. So they don't know what it's called anymore. You don't know the names of the courts. Like, you could probably find some books about the wars, and that might tell you some of the commanders. It might tell you some of the rulers that were killed. Whether or not they're their real names, you might have to do some digging.
Okay. I can't be much help. My understanding is very general, no specifics of Fey courts. Not something many of the books I read knew much about.
We'll have to check the libraries.
We shall. And Raven also suggested asking the princess for resources in lice.
Now may not be the best time.
Well, no, not like right now.
Yes.
But
Well,
It's
sooner rather than later, since she's going to get kidnapped and taken away.
true. Maybe when we get back to the castle.
Yes. Speaking of, what should we do? What should we do about that? At least the talking to Dane and talking to the prince and making ourselves known. We should probably consider all the trials and everything we're doing here for a moment.
Lord Nolan did warn you that there was time between the second trial, that you were going to be able to get back and rest. It wasn't going to be like you were thrown directly into it. That there would be a feast and planning and downtime once you're back at the palace.
So perhaps we should just focus on the return for now.
Yes.
Yes, I think that is probably wise.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, new trial, new outfits. What are you thinking?
Oh.
I like this, and I would be very happy to go with something with this motif. The white flower that the two of you have is very, very interesting. Not exactly fitting for the attire or the travel currently, but I like the idea. It's sparking something for me, and I could definitely
Another
get started.
motif suggestion. Swan feathers.
Oh,
Works with the flower. I like that. Yes. Yes. Echo just said excellent to me. That's all she said.
she likes the idea as well. Dove is blushing
Don't
all
know
over
why.
the place.
Yes. Dove, tomorrow
Yes.
you find and you kill some swans for me.
Oh,
and we will
no.
very easily
We'll,
make some. I have, yes.
we'll get swan feathers.
I will, you cook them. I'll pluck them.
I don't like any of these ideas. These are all terrible.
Let's
You see, all of
like
these feathers that I
killing
wear on
swans.
myself were they just fell off of the birds. They weren't like they just it was okay, sorry. What were you I'm just getting worked up. What?
Let's go for live swans over dead swans. We'll get you swan feathers.
We'll ask for
course.
them from the swans.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. I have sketches of crowns, and I want your opinion, Premac. And I'm just gonna sit down and pull out these sketches, and they're horrible. They're terrible. It's like weird little scribbles, and I immediately just start going through them. And so I was thinking something, kind of like curved like this, and like the drawings barely match what I'm describing, but I'm just like fully invested, trying desperately to explain my vision.
Elvis sitting there
yes.
and nodding like, yes, oh, beautiful. Oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Premac is saying in his mind, just whispering out, "Oh, that's terrible." And he sees you nodding, and he's like nodding along too, thinking that he's like you're agreeing, like these are terrible. But probably to Neve, it just looks like we're both just nodding away.
Yeah. Well, I'm like asking you guys for opinions and stuff, like trying to get you like really involved in this design process. And
It strikes me that you need some rest first.
sure, yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I appreciate the effort, and I will incorporate this somehow.
Well, these are going to be, the crowns that we grow, I
Yes.
guess.
Ooh,
So,
if I
like,
grow a
kind of
crown,
just,
will it be?
you don't have to make an outfit for it. Like a crown is part of the outfit, but I want to have like a design in mind that'll look really cool,
Well, if it grows naturally, do you have even influence over the design, or does it just decide whatever your personality is, makes it your? We don't know.
One, I am a shape changer, so I don't know if it matters. Two, it can't hurt. I mean, if it ends up different and you can't change it, then that's it. But if it is like you have to pre-plan it, and then you don't, and you end up with something terrible, like at least you've tried.
Yeah, your comment about it can't hurt. I do beg to differ. And he gestures to his like two yellowish horns that come out the top of his head and come up around like this. He's like, I cried for more than a week with each one of these when I was very little. It can hurt. I don't recommend trying over and over. Find something you like and stick with that.
Did you cut what did it hurt to grow out the first time, or did you like cut it multiple times?
No, there was no cutting involved. It's just very painful breaking through the skin. A lot of weeping and blood. Much oozing.
Oh.
Yes. I
thought
wouldn't
that
recommend.
Was natural.
It was very natural, yes. It just doesn't happen immediately.
Excuse me, are you saying it was strange, or is this normal for your kind?
Oh, quite normal, quite normal.
Oh.
I'm just not recommending that when you find something sharp that you want to grow out of your scalp, however you're planning that, I would recommend only once. Not an experience to repeat.
I was just going to be staring at the grass like, oh, shit.
He was just sort of like contemplating, because this is like to the left of what they were talking about, but they just can't like quite figure out how to reconcile it like back onto the path. And also the prospect of like, well, they're a shapeshifter. They're like, it's not going to hurt. I do this all the time.
That is lovely. The misunderstanding, the communication, and slight judgment of crown plans that are
How we
unspoken.
normally act.
Yeah.
Yep.
With plans in the future for crowns and other things and outfits. That is the evening. You guys are welcome to take a long rest on D&D Beyond.
Get my one cast of comprehend language back. Nice.
Yes.
Excellent.
And nothing happens in the evening. Guards are on rotation. The forest is much calmer. And somehow, Neve and Dove, you feel like you would know if something were to come up in the forest around you. The morning is easy. It's a little misty. It's a little kind of overcast, like it might rain. And you have this pace of being on the road now with this group that you guys managed to pack up the camp with everyone and start hitting the road. It's going to take you a decent part of the day to get back. Is there anything you guys want to do on the road?
I'll be prepping a little.
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
I'll be prepping, beginning to prep a little. I don't have all the materials I need, but starting to prepare something that for Uli to be able to, something that can cover the pocket so that Uli would be able to see out without someone seeing in. I don't have everything I need, but I've started the construct.
The design.
I also, if you would have given me the crown sketches, will be now trying to make my own based on on yours.
Yeah. Neve will
And
hand them over.
outfits that might go with them and things like that. Just drawing, sketching, and ideas.
Nice.
As we reach the edge of the forest, I would probably take a short break to say goodbye to Ursa.
Yeah, Ursa has been staying close. You can both feel that and sort of know where she is. And as you get closer to the edge of the forest, she's hanging back a little bit. She doesn't want to get too far gone from the heart of the wood. And so as everyone else is crossing this afternoon out of the denser trees and back on to the King's Road, you hang back, and you can all hang back if you'd like. And it's easier to pick out Ursa among the thinner trees here. And she stands sort of just back enough away that if any of the others were to look back, she'd just look like another tree.
Well, I think this is goodbye for a little while. We'll be heading into the city. Thank you for your help and for staying here.
It's what you made for me. I will watch the forest and send word if anything's wrong, but I think after will take some time to settle. So
That
sometime.
makes sense. And you do have a way of contacting us if
Yes.
excellent. Okay.
You'll if you are needed, you will know.
Excellent. Then see you soon.
She bows her head at all three of you for what you have done for her, her family, and now the wood itself. And she'll start stepping back.
All right. Turn and go.
Yeah, you guys cross over the edge of the wood. Neve and Dove, you definitely feel a little bit like, ooh, there's a less intensity to your energy and what you're feeling around you as it all sort of settles and fades a little bit more like static as you did not have a chance to really turn it off in the forest. It was very much like you were very present and aware in the wood, and now it's a little bit more muted. The road becomes a lot easier to travel as you can see the city and the palace kind of rising up on the road. It becomes a little bit more well-worn. You start passing some of the smaller villages that you passed before. And it's not going to take you that long to get back to the palace. But the sun is starting to go down. And by the time you guys break into the city itself, it's quieting down for the most part. The majority of the day is done. You spent most of the day traveling. We're hand waving that little bit. People are sort of milling about, closing up their markets. There's a couple people who are aware of the party coming back, but you guys are taking a sort of shortcut, so you're not processing through the city. It seems like there may have been an intention to process through the city upon your return, but Lord Nolan is very quick to divert, potentially because the prince didn't win this little bit of the trial. The prince doesn't look put out, though. He's sort of happy to be back in the city.
At the evening around the fire, I want to give one more shot at dispelling the stuff around on Lord Nolan.
Yes.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes.
You'll allow me to continue doing this.
Yeah, I will say you can have one more shot as you leave the woods.
Okay, yeah.
You will roll just a straight dispel magic, and not at disadvantage if you stay in the woods.
Okay.
If you were to
try
do
to
it in the
help.
city, you can
Big
help.
money, big money, big money.
Yeah, you can absolutely
Okay.
give a help.
So just a straight
Try to
D20?
give my helpful magical power.
Yeah.
Does it do anything? for the
Do I
roll?
add anything to it?
I think you can roll. Where are you? I have to hit.
Ability check using your spellcasting ability. Okay.
Yes. So you can roll twice. Take
Okay,
the
so roll
higher number.
with advantage. Okay. Roll 1. Roll 2.
Oh,
That's a nat 20 plus 5 is 25.
Your third nat 20 of the night.
that's
Yeah, as you are leaving the forest, you definitely get off a dispel magic and you can feel that it worked. Lord Nolan seems to be like,
Yes!
ooh,
I got it!
yes. And he like goes to speak and then realizes that like you're still out in the open, and he's like, I
Later.
yes,
Later, yeah.
find you later,
Yes.
Palace. We'll talk. And he goes to join his group.
Oh,
nice job. Incredible
thank
spell.
you.
And so yeah, Nolan will seek you out later. You guys make it back into the city. Probably it's around like 5 o'clock. The palace is there's like you go around sort of the back streets to get to a more side entrance of the palace, not the big main one where you fought the hag. And people seem ready to be home. There's a sort of like, and thank you all, as the prince is sort of like waving as he's going up the stairs and leaving. And everyone seems to be splitting up. The guards get to stop their duties. They're taking horses back to the stables. You see Tristan sort of look around, and he's like, he knows what he is supposed to do for the guards, but he's also realizing like, oh, I am a spy, and now I'm gonna, I'll find you later too. Oh, I actually have a fun
Realizing what
image
he's got
for
himself into now
Stilgar.
that he's back in reality.
Yes, now that we're back into reality, and you
Poor
have to deal with
Tristan.
this.
Oh, man.
So you re-enter the city. The path is sort of quiet. It's the end of the day, and they have been enjoying the silence of not having to deal with all of this nonsense. And the other entertainers sort of rejoin you, the Granite Breaker brothers and Sabrina, who you had met at the beginning of this. They sort of like, the Granite Breaker brothers were like, well, we'll see you back at quarters. We're going to go get a drink. Nice to be on the same side again, perhaps. And that is mainly my reminder that you have quarters in the palace that you can go back to.
Oh, yes. Oh, we each have our own room.
Yes, I
Me
have that.
will go with them to get a drink.
Okay.
I'll come too.
You
Okay.
guys can go with them to get a drink. They were either going to go. I will tell you, their plan was to go get some tankards of ale and probably bring them back and get a little
Oh,
wasted.
okay. Well, I have no
Um,
real plans. I'm just like, if Neve is tangentially invited in some in their interpretation to go get a drink, they will go get a drink. So
Yeah.
we don't have to role play it or anything. They will be drunk for the rest of the evening.
I will say yes. If you guys would like to go get some drinks with the Granite Breaker brothers, they will take you down. They're going to. Their whole plan was, we know where drinks are, the kitchens, and that's
Fantastic.
really where they're gonna be.
I'm so down. I'm so down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's
give me
not a
that
lot of
cooking
Praise
wine.
the kitchens.
Yeah.
yeah. There's not a lot of people around. I got a map for you of the kitchens.
A map. Oh
A
no.
Kitchen
map.
map
I'm excited and also afraid.
Yeah.
for the food fight.
So the kitchens.
Yes.
There can be. I put food on this map. If you
I
scroll
will
in,
start a food fight if
there
I
is
can.
it's a bigger map, so the owl bear takes a hot second to load that.
Yeah.
It's loading.
It's loading. It's a high resolution map, so it takes a little bit. But the kitchens are sort of down a couple levels. Dove actually knows where these are because
Oh, I've
the
been
last
here.
time Yes, you've been to the kitchens when
We're
you
spying.
went to go spy on the emotions of the people.
This is where she was crying about the person who had died, right? She was upset.
Yes, your friend Ren.
Yeah, the girl. Yeah.
Ren, the maid.
Is she
who you had
crying
met.
over Tristan's brother, or was this another person that died?
No.
It was another person that died.
Okay.
Ren she was very sad. Dove went to investigate, and Ren had mentioned that she used to be the ward of the high priest, who had passed away before the wedding ceremonies had begun.
There's more.
And so that's a whole thing.
If you want to know, you go back and watch the very first episode of
Yes.
Cordially Invited,
Yes.
and Jackie has a bit of a monologue there, which is fantastic.
Yes, the cold open, so to speak. The first 2 episodes are sort of the introduction to the castle and everything. So if you'd like to go back and listen to that, you are more than welcome to. In fact, if you're watching this going back, you can pause, go watch, come back.
There you go.
So Dev, you know where you're going. You know where the kitchens are. There's not a lot of people. It seems like dinner was already served, but there's some food about. You can certainly get something to eat, and you can certainly drink. The kitchens are sort of nestled in the back. There are some servants and things. I will say, I will put you guys down on the map with the Granite Breaker brothers who are here. And like there's kitchen staff and things, but they're clearly like packing up for the evening and cleaning, and they're just like, yeah, ale. There's a sort of table off in the corner where you can go and sit and drink and have some food to recover. There are some games. There's some dice. There's a little map and clearly some winnings that people had perhaps forgotten in there.
Can someone set me at the table? Thank you.
Yes.
My Owlbear radio is still loading, so I'm looking at it on the stream like, what's happening?
Yeah, it takes a hot second. I will say I put exactly the right number of chairs. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, great map maker.
Very interesting.
And yeah, you guys can drink. The Granite Breaker brothers are a little bit more personable of the entertainers. Raven is clearly like he hears we're going to drink ale, and he turns the other way and goes in an opposite direction. He and Sabrina are going to go back to the entertainers' quarters where you can go later. But the two dwarves are sort of like, you guys did excellently. They're sort of congratulating you on winning. They have no stake in the prince or the princess. They're simply here for the coin. You guys can drink some ale and enjoy. As you are enjoying, Dove, you do see Ren, your friend. Do I have her? I had a token for her. That's Sabrina. Okay, I'll have to find her token, but she does exist, and she is sort of like taking things back into the kitchen, things to clean. Go ahead and give me perception. Let's say a perception check.
Sure.
I don't really have a maid.
7.
A 7.
How's that?
She's like moving around a little bit. She seems a lot more sure of herself.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah. She seems like she's doing pretty great, actually. And she sort of like looks over and sees you, and she's like got a big smile on her face, and she waves. That, however, strikes you a little strange. I would say it was not a very high DC for you to get that. She was not a happy person before.
No.
And now she's got a big smile on her face. She's waving very happily as she's like putting baskets that were on her hip down and sort of sorting through them.
I'm going to just excuse myself from the table for a moment. Neve, you can play my turn when it comes back around to it. Mana, Quinn, obviously I say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I will
Yeah.
as a quick aside, hoping to get the Granite Breaker brothers very drunk. There's a point where like I feel a pleasant buzz and then I start pretending to drink more than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start trying to entice them into like a game of cards or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh,
Mm.
that's loud.
Nice.
I think Premac will totally think that you're trying to you're trying to entice him as well into a game of cards, and is like here for it, like yeah.
Premac is welcome to join, and Neve is both pretending to drink more alcohol than they really are, and pretending to act more drunk than they really are as they go into this game.
I think
Okay, that's all.
Dove has seen this plan many a time, and she kind of knows what's going on, and she's gonna excuse herself both to talk to Ren and also to make it so she doesn't have to pretend not to drink for a little while, so she can blah blah blah. She'll come back and play the game later, but yeah, want to go say hello. Here we go.
Absolutely. Ren will sort of look up and go, "Oh, welcome back. You've made it back. Assumingly in one piece."
Yes, well, you could say I'm 2 pieces now, but that's a long story. Either way, how are you? I know you had some things going on. I don't mean to just walk up to you and ask, like, how are you because that guy died, but how are you because that guy died? Is that okay now?
But that guy?
Sorry,
died?
your ward. You're the ward of him. It's so rude that I forgot his name, but I just was concerned about you.
If you had a little too much to drink, I'm
Oh,
ward
now
of
I'm
the king.
concerned. Now I'm concerned. Okay.
Why are you concerned? You're acting very strange.
Hmm.
I know you've been on the road a long time, but
Yes, that's the problem. Yep, I've been on the road for a while. What have you been up to? We spoke? You remember what we spoke about?
yes, we talked about my duties here in the castle. You told me about your birds, which I'm kind of thankful that they're not all here pooping on the food. But yes, I don't. That's it. Was there something else we were supposed to talk about?
I may have. I must have remembered it wrong. I think I may have asked you a favor, but possibly I am mistaken. Do you happen to recall if I did? Maybe was it somebody else? I don't know.
You're asking me if I remember if you asked someone else a favor.
No, I'm asking if you remember that I asked you the favor. If not, it must be someone. I'll go now.
Yeah, you said someone died. Did we lose guards on the road?
It's a euphemism for something. Never mind. I'm gonna go.
She's like, okay, weird.
Metaphor is yes. I'm just gonna try to subtly move back over to Mana, and obviously I don't know how to cast message or do anything like that, so I'm just gonna lean. I'm just gonna sit down, then I'm just gonna do a very subtle lean, and I
feel like we would have a means like from the old days of like need to communicate something, lean in, and so we would have like a little
I'll grab my drink and I'll like wrap my arm around and like kind of pretend like I'm just like, hey, let's back into the game. And I'll just so I spoke with my old friend over there, and she seems to be worse at reading things than I am.
How so?
Well, you know, I've changed a lot during this trip, and I think she has too. She's doing quite a lot better. I don't think I told you about her, though, unfortunately. We may have to speak about it later. Some gossip, possibly.
I love some gossip, but let's...
Yes, indeed.
I want to finish this game first.
Of course, yes. She'll,
Yes.
Dove's fine holding off on that for a little while, but we'll need to talk about that later.
I think it's better that you're back because I think Neve is a better player and was playing your hand too well. We're losing a little bit of money, so it's better that you're back. Thank you.
Excuse me. Man, we have played many a hand of cards
Or mana, sorry,
in
mana.
my...
I
Yes.
know what I'm doing, Premac. Thank you.
Yes, no, I realize
I-
that. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. I'm glad that Dove is back.
Ah, I see.
know about this.
I see.
Beautiful. Yeah,
DM, can we roll for who wins the card game?
absolutely.
Oh, I like
Yes.
I am
We'll do it
cheating.
tested. Okay, we're gonna do some. So I'm gonna roll.
Can I cheat with birds? Can I cheat with birds?
Did you bring birds down here?
I mean, there's got to be at least one. I can't not have
Okay.
a bird.
You can roll an animal handling check, and if it's above a 12, you can have advantage.
Premac is totally trying to count cards, but like, because he's
Yeah.
like, this is a legitimate strategy. Like, this is.
Oh, that's nat 20.
This is when I needed
Oh,
that.
God.
Nat
Okay.
20.
So you're gonna roll a pure luck, 2d20s. You take the higher number.
Okay. Come
Premac,
on, wait. Can I add my intelligence? This is a bit of intelligence, right? Come on.
it's you're using. You said you were using birds, so it's your animal handling.
Oh, yes. All right. I'll take
Premac
it.
is going to try and count cards. Premac, if you also get above a 12 on an intelligence check, you can count cards and have advantage.
Just a straight intelligence check.
I'll wait for my
Nope.
rolls until
That's a
we're
big 8.
ready.
That's a big 8.
Oh, no.
It's a big 8.
That's
Neve,
good.
I would like you to roll a deception check
Okay, yeah. Neve
to cheat.
is very experienced at cheating people out of their money at poker. Neve brought the deck, has stacked the deck, and is specifically targeting the Granite Breaker brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And to try to gouge them of their money.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
That's
roll
a
me
26.
26. So Dove and Neve can roll with advantage. Premac, you're going to roll just a straight d20. So you're going to
Okay.
roll, each of you is going to roll a d20. If you have advantage, roll 2, take the higher number. And this is just going to be a roll off.
Oh,
Rollies.
Yeah. We have to do this
Alright.
all at once. We have to do a 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, sorry, I
wait,
just
you
did
already
mine.
did. Okay, 1, 2, 3,
Sorry.
go.
14.
13 is my highest.
I got a, what did I get?
A 17.
17. Oh yeah, 17.
Okay. So Premac, you got a
14.
14. Dove, you got a
13.
Neve, you got a
17.
17. I'm going to roll for each of the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big old 2.
Ooh, somebody wasn't doing well. Bad luck tonight.
That's a 19.
Oh!
Ah.
I was
So
supposed to get disadvantage because I duped them and was targeting them.
how were you trying to target them? Were you trying to like give like
I was trying to
intimidate
specifically
them?
give them shitty cards.
Give them shitty cards.
Yeah.
I'll roll with disadvantage. Let me roll one more.
Oh.
I stacked the deck.
Okay, that's a 9. Okay, that's yeah. So you win. Like there's a moment where they're like looking at their cards, looking at you guys. Dove's looking at birds that are like on the ledge behind the Granite Breaker brothers. Premac is very intently looking back and forth between the cards, trying to do the
This
math.
doesn't make sense.
Uh,
This just doesn't make sense.
I feel like he's trying to count the cards, but did not take into account the fact that Neve stacked the deck, and so
That's
he's
exactly
like,
it.
Yeah.
"There's too many twos."
Absolutely.
So I was got the same exact thing. Like the birds keep signaling the same things, and I'm like, that can't be right. They must be misinterpreting it. Gosh, I just don't know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Neve is clearly just like, you are so confident that you are
Oh yeah,
gonna
and I'm
fucking
like,
win this.
I'm like drunk. I'm doing like the drunk girl in the bathroom thing where I'm like, "You're so good at this." Like, oh, I don't know how I keep winning, man. Just like,
Oh yeah,
more alcohol.
who even knows anymore? And like the Grandberger brothers are clearly also drunk, and they're like, we're so good at cards, so
No.
good.
It's
You are
just
definitely
luck of
not.
the draw, you
Definitely
know?
not. God. Sure, and they're
I
just
think my
like,
birds forgot how
starting
to
to-
count.
you didn't bring your counting birds with you.
No.
And in this, as you're trying to win, go ahead and everyone give me perception checks. If you have been drinking and you have been drinking to the point where you think you would be at a disadvantage for perception checks, you may elect to have disadvantage.
I'm going to give myself a Constitution saving throw to see how well I hold my liquor because I think
Perfect.
that you do well.
I
20.
think-
Oh no, 14. Ooh.
I will
Neve
say
is- Oh, go ahead.
the con save I think is like a 12. So
Okay.
I think you're fine.
Okay.
Neve
Yeah, I
specifically mentioned that they were not drinking to excess.
Yeah, they're buzzed, but not enough to dull their senses and are acting.
Okay. 16,
A 10.
10.
He said perception. I don't think.
I'm paying
think
very
that
close
is-
attention to these cards.
Yes. Very distracted by the cards. And a 3.
Paying very close attention to those birds.
Stuff is just like, it's your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say that Premac is the only person who notices that it is starting to get dark. I have a darker version of this map for nighttime, but how long it took to load, I will not make you guys wait for that.
No,
Yeah, we're not going to wait for that. It'll be prepped for next time. This place is still illuminated. There's candles. There's a fire going. Ren is clearly like cleaning up the kitchens, as is her duties. Premac is the only person who notices someone come in the doors. And this is a little weird because it's clearly like Ren is the only person who's really supposed to be down here cleaning up. Everyone else has already eaten. And Premac, you turn and you see a man come in. He's dressed in very nice clothing, looks like he is a noble. But as you're looking, and you have an eye for clothing, you're noticing that like it fits very strangely around this guy. He's like weirdly pot-bellied, but the rest of him is very thin. Like his face is really gaunt. And he comes in the doors very confidently, and he looks at Ren, and then he looks over in the corner and sort of frowns and makes eye contact with you. And he goes, "Oh, well, you weren't supposed to be here. And would you like to do anything at the moment?"
Yes. I am very perturbed by the way that clothing is falling on him. It just does not, like, this is, he's a little inebriated. He's holding his liquor, caught the perception, but like he's very distracted right now. He sees the water over in the corner. It's like, I could get in that. And like, that's almost a tub. And, you know, like he's just kind of like enjoying this kind of movement at times and stuff, and looks over and is just like, he says, puts his hand on the table and stands up, says, "I have to stand because I cannot stand for that," and kind of gestures towards the gentleman and starts walking over. I'm going to start walking towards, and basically be like, "I need to understand what you are. This is interesting. It's both good and bad, and is very intriguing." As gesturing to his clothing as I walk towards, which, like, I don't know, 30 feet would get me, like, I don't know how far I can get.
As you get closer, give me a perception check. Give me an investigation, because you've noticed the clothing.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, 12.
Okay, as you get closer, you notice that the clothing seems like it should have been matching. It absolutely should have been matching, but it's not. The shirt is sort of like wrinkled under his heavily embroidered vest, and the patterns aren't matching. His pants are a different color from anything he's wearing on top. And he walks forward almost like he's having a little bit of a hard time moving his legs in coordination. And he takes a couple more steps closer to Ren and sees you walking towards him, and he holds up a hand, and that is when you notice a couple things falling out of his sleeve. And he...
Sir, I see you're wearing all your finest, which is excellent, but they seem to be not in the right layering. Oh, you're you're dropping, and...
would you like to look at what he's dropping?
I would, yes.
You look on the ground, and they're very small. They're very small. But you notice that what's coming out of his sleeve are worms. And as he holds up his hand, he sort of tilts his head, and it's almost like his neck goes a little too far, and sort of lolls to the side, and he says, "There was just supposed to be the one, but I'll deal with you too." And I would like everyone to roll for initiative.
Hell yeah. He'll turn to Ren in that moment and just be like thinking that she's the one in the kitchen, the one, there was supposed to be one. And he's like, "If this is the delivery of what we've been eating, I am very disappointed in this establishment."
Oh yeah.
And
I would say Premac noticing saved you guys from being surprised. I can
didn't
hold
roll
on.
very well.
I can run the encounter.
We both rolled 9.
You both rolled 9?
Yes.
21.
Okay, that makes sense.
God.
21, and it's just 9 even with modifiers for you two?
Yep.
Yes.
Who has the higher dex between you two?
I have +4.
Okay, so it'll be me and then Bird. Okay. This, we probably will not make it all the way through combat, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of this because it's too much when you were like, "I want to go drink," and I was like, "Okay, we can go to the kitchens." Premac, you see these worms fall out of this guy's sleeve, and he is kind of looking between you and Ren and the group in the corner, and looks like he's preparing to do something, but you get to go first.
What does Ren look like? Premac is a little like, insight, I'm a people watcher. Is this guy appear aggressive? I'm bad at insight. Like, I'm bad at understanding people, but I watch for patterns. Does this look like aggressive? This guy looks like he's not supposed to be here, right?
He looks like he's not even supposed to be together. As like things are falling out of his sleeves, you notice that what looked so weird is that he doesn't look like the things in his clothing. It's not flesh. There's like things moving under his clothing.
Okay. In that case, this may not work at all, but I'll give it a shot. Premac will, Ren, perhaps you should step back. Or, young lady, I think he would say, because I don't think he knows Ren's name, will come up, and I will try to grab onto these, this creature to pull them. I'm going to try to grapple, and if possible, move back farther with them.
Okay.
Back
Go
towards the
ahead
door.
and give me, I believe that's contested strength for grapple?
Yeah, strength, or do you allow my athletics? We were doing athletics before. But
Yes, we were doing athletics. Yeah, go ahead and do athletics.
Thanks.
I don't remember what this guy's
28.
athletics. I don't know that he can make that even. What is his... Oh! Hold on one moment.
There's a part of me that feels like maybe this won't work if he's a mass of writhing little things or something.
That's a very good thought. But with a 28, you do get a hold. How are you grappling?
Would come up, and it's usually with his tail. Comes up, wraps his tail around, and tries to like wrap around his middle, and starts to kind of like pull back with his body to pull like I grapple, and then I come back to this side, and I try to move me and him back, basically my tail wrapped around his midsection, and pull.
Okay. So as you wrap your tail around him, you feel like a lot of give in his clothing. Like he could have wriggled out of this, but you managed to get the right leverage, and he is grappled. That's not what I was going to hit, because he rolled really high, but not enough to beat a 28. I found Ren's token, so I will put her down on here. Here's Ren. And you have absolutely gotten up to grapple him. Is that your turn? Would you like to do anything else?
The only thing I will do is you'll see he'll kind of throw his arm out to the side, and this tendril, this spool of yarn kind of unrolls across the floor, and at the other end, a whole other Premac kind of materializes out of the clothing. This kind of shadowy version of him made out of kind of roiling material of the cloths that he's wearing.
Okay. Awesome. Then that brings us to this thing's turn. He is going to look at you, and it's almost like he can turn his head a lot more than he should, and he turns to look at you, and he goes, "That was a very good trick. But you made a mistake by touching me." And immediately through the clothes, you feel things start crawling out of the seams and just attaching and biting into your tail. I need you to make a DC 19 dexterity saving throw.
What?
You keep touching bad things.
Yes.
No, I was going to try the worms.
My
I was going to eat them.
You are
10.
too close.
10.
Okay. You are going to take... I need to roll this.
Tell me it's poison damage.
It's not. It's necrotic.
Darn it.
You are going to take... You're going to take 11 necrotic damage. I rolled really high. I'm so sorry. It was 2d8. 11 necrotic damage as these worms start burrowing under your scales. And
that's the moment Premac like roars, just like
yeah. And on that's its, and as it does that, it also throws back its hand to the doors, and they fling open. And in the darkness of the hallway, which is not happening because I don't have the dark map up, you can hear motion behind the doors. And Premac, you're probably the only one who can directly see that there are two shapes sort of coming down the hallway. Everyone else can hear that there's motion and see this fight, but you can't see what's coming down the hallway. I need to find next. They're going to do some stuff but they just got... Okay, so up next is Neve. Neve, you are back at the table. Premac got up to go confront this weird guy, and who immediately looks like he's kind of both falling apart and also falling all over Premac in a really gross way.
Yeah, I'm going to spring up and run across... Oh, how far is 30 feet? Hold on while I... Okay, so that's to about...
I'm going to switch up our
here.
music here a little bit. Yeah.
Can I see the creatures in the hallway now?
Yes. You can see the shapes of two of the creatures. They are big. They are taller than people. But they look really weird. Like, they look like... Yes, they have mass, but you see more things, like, sort of moving off of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, like, pressing up against the walls and sort of pushing themselves against it to get through the doors. And as they come a little closer... You have dark vision, right?
I do not.
Oh, you don't? Okay, then you don't see the details of this. but you could definitely tell that there's like things on them. They're moving almost like in a roiling way. They don't look right.
Well, that fucking sucks. So I will cast Bane on all 3 of them.
Okay.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can go ahead and cast Bane. I'm rolling a saving throw.
Charisma DC 16.
A charisma. A charisma. They have a 0.
Yes.
2 of them have a 0, and then you just 16.
Yeah.
That's a 4 and a 5 for the 2.
Nice.
Let me,
Oh, yeah.
but let me roll for the other one. That is a 17 for the guy.
Okay. Well, that's a start.
Yeah, so
and
2
I'm
are
also
baned.
going to, if you'll let me, because I'm just about the end of my movement. I think I can make it to there, and I want to grab Ren and start kind of pulling her behind me.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get up next to Ren and put yourself so as you are an equal target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm like in move of like shoving her behind me, and on my next turn I'm gonna move
Absolutely.
her, do something about that.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Duff Bird, you are up.
All right. I, of course, had to put myself in the furthest chair here, which means I'm too far away from everything.
Just drinking and having a good time.
I
Getting
don't
really
like
pissed at
it.
your birds.
I don't like it. I have a question. I'd like to do a thing.
Sure.
Don't know if I have enough movement
love
and
that.
action to do this, but I would like to remind everyone that I am incredibly strong. I'll start with that statement. I would like to run straight towards Neve, and behind them is Ren, now getting pushed. I'd just like to hoist Ren up over my shoulder and then run to this door over here, push it open and toss her in and close the door. So then she's all right. And then we can start fighting.
Okay.
I want to go here, grab her, and then go here. So this to this it would be 60 feet to go do that.
Would you
Which would be my
allow me
dash.
to, because I did not use my bonus action, I was kind of thinking of it as like pulling Ren, so would you allow me to say my bonus action was spent pushing her into Dove's arms?
As I'm like,
yes.
towards her.
So I will
Kinda help out with
say,
that?
yeah, I will say you can absolutely make it up to Ren. You can grab Ren just fine. I'd like you to make an athletics check to see if you can keep that momentum to carry her towards the door in your dash.
No problem. I will do that.
Otherwise, you're gonna stumble a little bit.
Okay. Is there a DC or just?
I will say it's a DC 13.
Okay. I got an 18.
Nice.
Perfect. So yeah, you are strong. You have been on the road. You have been fighting. You have not had a chance to relax yet other than start drinking. So yeah, you are on it. You sprint towards Ren. You and Neve are working in tandem, Dove, as Neve pushes Ren. You like scoop her with one arm and just use your elbow to maneuver her, propel her forward towards that door. I will say you can get to the door with her, but you can't. It's closed, so you're gonna have to. You can't use your action to open it, but you're sort of back there now.
Okay. I'll just position myself so she's behind me, just in case.
That works. Okay. That is this thing.
Full thing.
Because that was your dash and action.
Yeah.
And we'll call it
I can actually. Sorry. I will use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark, because I can do that.
Yes, you can do that.
I will Hunter's Mark this guy, since I can see him.
Yes. He is Hunter's marked.
Perfect.
Okay. That brings us to one of these things. things. What are there? Ooh, that's fun for me. These things have some movement. One of these things is gonna come into the room, and all of you now see as it steps into the light. This thing is tall. It's big, but it's like emaciated and looks like it used to be maybe a human, maybe something else. But at this point, it is so corrupted that you can't even tell what it used to be. It has these long, gangly, bony limbs, and then these weird, fleshy tendrils, almost like cilia coming off of it, that are waving in the air, helping it navigate. And as it turns its face to you all, its mouth is kind of wrenched open, broken, with these jagged teeth, and it does not have eyes. They look like they have rotted away from the inside. And this thing is going to look at Premac, because you're right up there. It is going to make 2 strikes on you.
How dare.
The first one is a 3.
Subtract the D4 from both of those.
It rolled a natural 3 for a 9. That's not going to hit. That's and I -4.
Minus D4.
That's a 12 then, and I'm going to assume that doesn't hit Premac.
Nope.
It's supposed to be you guys ruining my monsters. Gosh. Does it get anything else? No. Okay, well, it tries to, like, its weird fleshy tentacles coming off of its body try and slam into Premac. And it just looks like it does not have the kind of sight to hit, and they just kind of glance off of Premac.
Premac's got his tail wrapped around that guy, and while it feels weird trying to move him a bit, he's just like trying to keep it a little bit in between, shoving it off to the side, just trying to keep back from these things coming at him.
All right, and that brings us to the top, which is Premac. You have at least one of these things coming in the room trying to attack you. You feel this weird, burrowing situation as these worms are trying to dig their way under your scales of your tail where you're grappling this guy.
Yeah, I don't like this grapple thing at all. I mean, this burrowing thing at all. However, would you mind throwing up a creature down for my my shadow, my echo?
Yeah.
Which I was thinking of back here, somewhere in this area.
There you go.
And thank you. So you would have just run past Premac's shadow there. Premac. So I've got this thing grappled, but it doesn't. I'm guessing it doesn't feel like it's a good grapple. Like this feels like this thing could get out if it wants to.
Worms burrowing into your skin. Is it a good grapple or not?
Yeah, I don't like touching it. Okay. Premac is going to let go of the grapple on this guy and just take a step over to the side so that he's between the person that the other two were trying to protect, Ren, and I'm going to attack twice on this guy. I'm going to just slash out with my claws.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first one is a 14 to hit.
14's not going to hit.
The second one is going to be worse, a 13 to hit.
No. Are you attacking with your claws?
I am attacking with my claws,
Okay.
yeah.
Good to know.
And because that's not going to work, I will have my ghost, my echo, come up. He can't. I don't think it can hold the doors close or anything like that, but I can use a certain amount of times a day a bonus action attack from it. So I will attack once from it on the one actually that's just come up beside me here, number 2.
Okay.
So it would just be a claw attack from it as well. I don't know how many.
Okay.
17.
A 17 is gonna hit. Yeah.
All right. That's a big old 10.
Okay. Cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. That's the action and bonus action.
Okay.
Sit. But Primek is gonna yell out as these things are now under his scales. He's gonna look over at Mana and say, "Don't let it touch you." And stop with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so you claw into these things. It's almost like you're cutting into the fabric, but it's just the worms that are inside and making up his skin are just like shifting around your claws. You don't get a good hit.
I apologize. Unleash Incarnation, the bonus action, which I thought was the bonus action attack from that guy, is not actually a bonus action at all. It's a no action. I just can use it 4 times. So I would still have my bonus action.
Sure.
Which is, in this case, is it helpful at all? Sure. Second wind. I will heal up because I took 11 damage.
Yeah, you took some necrotic damage.
I'll roll that momentarily. 1d10 plus 6. Awesome. And that's it for me.
Okay.
You see me kind of like, kind of try to, 7 hit points.
Rally. Yeah. All right. On the next turn, you see the second one of these things come like roiling into the room. It is actually going to... Your echo is magical. It's tangible though, right? It still takes up space.
Takes up its space. It has AC 17.
Okay.
1 hit point.
Yeah, this thing is blind and it's really sensing weird things. So it's going to turn and try and attack your shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Minus a d4.
With a tentacle. That's a 2. That's a nat 20.
That hits.
Minus a d4.
Yeah. That's still a 22.
Fine.
Yeah, it smacks your shadow. Shadow goes poof.
Yep.
That was its
He's
second.
gone.
Oh,
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I read this wrong.
Oh no, what does
What
that
did I
mean?
not? I need to roll some sort of save.
No, that's not what needs to be happening. It smacks out twice with the tentacles, hits, and then turns to you because I read its multi-attack wrong and is going to reach out and try and just hit you with its weird hands. That's a 13 and an 11.
Nope.
For those -4s are really killing me.
It's a minus d4 though, not a full 4. So
Yeah, it's the D4. I rolled a 15 on 1 -2 and a 14 -3 for an 11.
nice.
God darn it.
Nice.
All right. That's that thing's turn. Yeah. These things are like moving really weird. That brings us to the weird guy. Weird guy can... Oh.
Oh,
I
no.
do.
Oh no, I don't like this. Uh-oh.
Why does it keep looking like you're discovering new things about these people every
I know.
time?
Yeah.
Well, I read this a little while ago when I was preparing for this combat, and now I get to reread and rediscover the fun. This thing is going to kind of just turn... Premek, did you let go of it? You let go of the grapple, right?
I did let go of it. Yeah, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Didn't want it touching me.
He is just gonna turn. He's not looking like he needs to really move very far away from you at all. He is going to... This is just something it can do. Yes, it can. It is going to take one attack at you, Premac, as it reaches out a hand, and almost like its hand is getting a little bit bigger as it fills up with worms. Sorry, that's a sentence that I had to say. To try and hit you. That is going to be a roll. That is going to be a 17 to hit you. Okay.
17 is my AC.
But that is only going to do 6 damage to you. Which means I can only get one of these off.
What?
Okay. Because he's just trying to get Premac sort of distracted and out of the way. He is going to be very focused on his target, but Dove has put herself in between. And is going to... Does a...
Let's go.
Well, I gotta roll the thing. Does a 19 hit Dove?
Oh, that felt like a targeted attack, which of course it was, but yes, it does hit. Does he have ranged worms? Does he throw worms at me?
No, he does not. What he
Oh,
can do is, as he slams Premac out of the way, his other arm sort of flops forward and almost like contorts a little too fast, and he shoots a beam of very dark, sickly energy at you in a blast, and that is going to be... Do I have... There it is. 5 force damage.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that an Eldritch Blast?
Who knows? Who knows?
Smell
if
it,
you
the
can-
spell's a warlock.
If you can guess what this monster is in the comments below, congratulations. And that is
You win worms.
you win worms. Worms.
They'll come through your computer screen.
Yes.
Wow.
Neve, that is you.
Horrible.
Okay.
This thing does not look
Get him.
concerned with you at all.
Yeah, I figured. Firstly, if this will take my action, I'm not going to do it. But what I would like to do is look at his face and see if he looks like someone I have seen, like, in the banquet or around the castle. Kind of like those face-stealing dogs. Like, is this some kind of creature that stole the body of someone in the castle?
Yeah, you can roll a history check, and I'll just say that can be your bonus action.
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
It's not going to take a whole
That's a
action for you to think.
12.
A 12 wasn't a very hard roll, because you do recognize this guy. He was just one of the nobles at the feast who complimented you on your performance. You didn't know his name, but you have at least he does reside in the castle.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, there's not a whole lot else I can do but run up and poke him. So I'm gonna give him a good rapier stab. Does a 22 hit?
A 22 will hit.
All right. I'm also going to use mobile flourish. You take the attack action on your turn, your walking speed increases by 10 feet until the end of the turn. If the weapon attack hits, you can expend one of your bardic inspiration to deal extra damage equal to the number you roll on the die, and you push the target up to 5 feet plus the number rolled. So I am going to. Where's my thing?
Give us a D8.
Roll a D8. So It's an extra 2 damage on top of the rapier. 10 damage, so 12 damage total. And I want to just shove him back to there.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to take Beck's movement and back the fuck up.
That would be a smart choice. Hold, please.
Okay.
I don't know that I want to spend that yet. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna do that yet. Yes. So did you got up and now you're moving back?
Yeah, I shoved him away from me and then I'm moving back more.
Okay,
So
cool.
Unless, I mean, he might have an insane reach, but unless he does. And I shoved him back. It would have been 7 feet. I just moved him like 5 on the grid, but I would have shoved him like the full 7.
Yeah, no. He does have some reach, but not that kind of reach.
Okay.
He's got a 10-foot reach, not a whatever.
It's
25
12 feet.
Yeah, it's
That's
definitely
2
over.
feet. Really important.
Definitely over 10. That extra 2 feet is very important. I'm glad you said something. All right. Next in the order is Bird.
Is it me? Okay.
It's you.
Is it an action? Is it a full action to open a door? Is it an interact with object?
It's not a full. It's only a full action if you need to like force it open. This is just a door. It's not locked. It's not like you need to break it or anything. You can just open the door.
Okay, because I mean, I'm sure Ren, unless how's she doing? What's up with her?
She looks very scared, very confused. You guys moved her so quickly that she's not really seeing everything. And she sort of peeks over your shoulder to check on you as you got hit with something that she didn't see. And she sees the 2 hulking, weird, emaciated tentacle monsters and this writhing worm man. And just like goes to scream, realizes she has no breath too, and just looks at you like,
Yes, I know. Get in this room now.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully she'll just get in the room and close the door and hide. And I want to just barrel forward. Just giddy on up there. And the one that I hunter's marked is the main guy, so I'd like to hit him, preferably. I can make it. Go here, I guess. And I will hit him 3 times.
Go for it.
Hell
With
yeah.
all of my actions. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
The first one is a 19 to hit.
Yep.
I will roll all of my to hits first before I go to damage. The next one is a 23.
Yep.
And the final one is a 9.
No, that one won't hit.
Okay,
So you get 2 off.
2. That's okay.
You
Those
did
are my better
bring
2.
Some birds with you.
Oh, yes, I did bring some. Thank you so much. I did bring some birds with me. So I have my bird abilities. We didn't put a swarm on the map.
Hold, please.
Can they be with me? Can they be near me?
Yes.
Thank you. They are able to deal an extra 1d6 piercing damage when I hit something. They
Absolutely.
could also... When I saw it wrestle with Premac for a moment, could I tell it was... Did it seem strong? Was that what that was?
It
Or
seems...
did it just seem difficult?
It's not that it's strong. It certainly looks like it packed a wallop when it tried to slam Premac with a giant worm hand thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more like it was difficult to grasp.
Got it. I'm just for funsies, I'm gonna try. It never works, but I'm gonna try instead of the extra damage. The birds can move an enemy 15 feet horizontally in a direction of my choice. So I would like to toss him further back in the room so he's further away from Ren, if possible.
Okay.
So I'll roll damage, and then he needs to make a strength saving throw. The DC is only 10. So give it.
Go
your
ahead,
your
roll that
call.
damage. I'll roll his strength.
I don't know if does the Bane apply to that? I don't know.
He did not.
not
He was
baned.
not baned. The other two
Oh,
are.
it's the other people. Got it.
He rolled a 16.
Okay, that's fine. And I rolled terrible on the damage. 8 and 6. So 22. 12. 12.
12. Okay.
8 and
Yep.
6, that's 14.
14. I've never done math in my life.
Okay. All right. And that's with your
Oh.
added bird damage.
22, that's cool too. I did not add bird damage because they tried to push.
Oh, right. They pushed, not
Yes.
did the damage. Cool. Is that's everything?
That is everything. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. That is one of these tentacle creatures' turns. It is going to. It doesn't look like it's been following any of the action. It's just following sort of movement. And it sort of feels the guy get pushed back a couple. And it's going to get in between Premac and the worm man and go after you, Dove. And now I've remembered how many I get. Nope, that doesn't hit. Does a 17 hit you?
Minus a d4.
That was minus the d4.
Okay, cool.
Does not hit me.
Gosh, darn it.
I'm sorry.
I have cool monsters, guys.
I have
Baloney.
thick skin.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, shucks. Come on.
Even with a minus 4, that's still a 22 to hit.
But does it not do the nat 20, like, extra damage?
I don't think that even really matters because I only rolled 10 damage
Well,
on a
I
nat
mean-
20 dice.
I don't know. I mean, I only have the...
It's
full
just a
number of
normal 10
Oh,
bludgeoning
hits.
damage.
Thank you. I'll take it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks.
This thing is not doing any necrotic.
Alright.
It's still nat 20, it just is a little less useful. Even
10 damage is pretty useful. I'll give you that. That's like...
it has 4 attacks.
I understand. Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll the last one, and I rolled a natural 9. What am I gonna do? I roll bad on all my monsters, guys.
Oh.
At the end of its turn, the Granite Breaker brothers, who were off in the corner, they were delayed around because they're very drunk, are gonna.
I was about to ask about them. Cool.
Yeah, they had to, like, understand what the fuck was going on for a round.
You know, that's fair.
They're gonna dash over to the door. I'm gonna let them move as a unit because they're not attacking anything. And they're gonna look at you, Neve, and say, "We'll protect the girl. You just go worry about Worm Man." Little drunk.
Cool.
Not the best protectors, but they will keep the door from being like they're gonna serve as bodies to get
That's
in the way.
about as much as I can expect for them, considering how much I coerced them to drink and stole their money.
Yep.
Yes,
This was our doing.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Screamac. You are
All
up.
right. I have no idea if this will work. So far, it hasn't worked on any creatures, but I'm a green dragonborn and we deal poison damage. So we're gonna try and see. Premac will start with these things coming in. He keeps going into to grab, and instead just kind of starts going, and then just breathes out this like cloud of poison,
Yeah.
15-foot cone, which would hit the 3. Because I took the feat Potent Poisoner, it ignores resistance. If they're immune, they're immune. But if they have resistance, it ignores it.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
If they are affected, they need to roll a DC 15 con save. The 3 of them.
That is a 19 and con save.
Yeah.
An 11. So one of them, let's say the one right between you guys, is now poisoned.
Was that all 3
Okay.
of them that you rolled for?
One of them, the main guy, he is immune.
Okay.
To poison. He's a bunch
Okay.
of worms.
Half as much on a successful save, but otherwise it's 7 damage. Was the max rolled.
Okay.
Half on a save.
Okay. Cool.
And then bonus action. He will his claws will both start to glow as he kind of starts to pull them down on his arms, on these tattoos that he has on his arms, and I am invoking my Eldritch Claw tattoo.
Ooh, nice.
While these grubs and stuff are flying around, and that inky kind of, or that black magic that's fired, you start to see almost like the echo kind of stuff, kind of like pulling out in and out of him, and kind of like these little blooms kind of thing as this magic starts to build in him for attacks.
Absolutely.
I'm not moving.
Lovely. One of these guys is not looking great. He is going to look at Premac and turn where he felt a wave of nastiness, and he is going to step up to you. This is number 1 here. He is going to make 2 tentacle attacks at you, -4 or minus a d4. Can you roll the other one? That's a 15 to hit you.
17 for me.
Yeah, neither of these are going to hit because he rolled a 15 and a 13.
All right.
18. Does an 18 hit you?
18
Minus
hits.
D4?
18 hits.
That's minus a d4.
Okay. I have to check every time.
Yes, that is 5 damage.
5 damage. All right.
Can we clear that, DNDBeyond? Nope, that is a 7. No, that's a 17 minus a d4. The d4 was
AC
a
17.
3. So yeah, it's not gonna do it. I was like, 17, you just said it. No, d4. Cool. It got one of its 4 hits on you. This thing. Okay, I'm gonna be smarter about the next monster. By the next monster, I mean the next monster. Going, which is Worm Man. Worm Man is going to
go find the squishies. Go chase the squishies with the low AC and let us get our opportunity attacks in.
Worm Man.
Worman.
Worman.
Yes.
Worman. Can I label him?
Yes. I think all of you can change the names on any of these tokens if you click on it and type. Worman is going to turn to Premac. And something about its face. It's like something is... clearly this thing does not have bones. This is wearing a skin suit. It's very gross. Something like falls and like things are being pushed as almost like a little gem appears in its mouth as it opens its mouth, and it's going to look at you. And it is going to say something that you feel... Oh, it feels so familiar. It's like a language that you can just barely hear and very faintly understand for a moment, and then it's gone. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. It is a DC.
It's a 9.
You are charmed.
Oh boy. Okay. Can I
and this
remind
thing.
myself, I'm going to go quickly look up charm. I
Yes.
always think it's worse than it is. It's not great, but it's not like...
Yeah. These worms are basically holding up a gem in this thing's mouth and charming you.
Charmed.
Oh,
A charmed creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects. The charmer has advantage on ability checks to socially interact with me if we want to have a grub chat. Chat over some grub.
Yes, if you would like to talk to Worman, you can. But he was basically just like, "You're annoying me. Thank you." And just wants you to stop attacking him because you're not important to him.
I forgot to
That
have my 100 mark
was-
damage.
Oh, if you
yeah.
want to roll some of that and just tell me what it is, we'll gladly
Thank you.
apply it.
You're wonderful and so nice.
I am somewhat loosey-goosey with my monster's HP. I take it as a guideline. Because we don't do XP leveling. That was its 1. And you're within the range, but it already did that against you. So yeah, it just charms Premac. And that is its action.
It was 7 points from the hunter's mark.
7 points of damage. This thing, it almost looks like it's vomiting up a little too high. The gem comes down out of its mouth. It speaks, like teeth that are a little too loose in the gums clack against the gem. And Neve, you watch as Premac just sort of relaxes. And that's weird. You have never seen this before, of like Premac just belted
Premac
out poison.
is tightly strung as part of his
tightly
nature.
strung, very quick and tense in battle, and he is completely relaxed as this thing looks back towards you and the door and rolls its neck a little too far, and you can see there's no bones, it's just the skin kind of folding in on itself. And he just goes, 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 5 to go. And that's where we're gonna end. So I will save this map where it is. I've got the initiative already. I've just got to take a screenshot of it so I have it. I can't post it in our Discord because I will not. You can see the monster names, and I don't want you to see my homebrew monsters.
I could take a screenshot for you.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. No, I put it in my other secrets folder. But yeah, we will pick back up in the middle of combat. You guys are doing pretty well against these things. It's supposed to be pretty well. That Bane.
Long since we fought.
Yes.
anything.
I know.
Oh god.
I know.
Oh god.
Yeah. So, but it is 11:30, and I wanted to make sure that we did get some rest tonight. I've got trial tomorrow. But I was like, oh, I want to do some combat. It'll be fun.
Thank you. That was fun to come back to.
Yeah. And now you know Ren is being weird. She seems way too happy. And now something's trying to kill her.
I think Ren has worms. That is my prediction.
Oh.
I think she's going to have worms if we don't do something very soon.
I think that's probably more likely.
I don't know.
Worman is coming for her.
I think we should check her ears.
Gross.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like
I will be thinking of worms, but streaming of it. Thank you.
I mean, I'm
was
not the
more
one that had worm enemies.
burrowing. Yeah, burrowing under the skin more so than in the ears.
Mm-hmm.
But
Separate things.
separate worm problems. But thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you, my lovely party, for some amazing roleplay. And then we get back into some combat. Love it. I am very prone to ending on cliffhangers, so I didn't want to end on rolling initiative. as I'm too used to doing that. And we will come back together on the 22nd of June, I believe.
Yeah.
That sounds like the correct thing. And we will pick back up in the middle of this fight, and we will see who wins, Worm Man or our soon-to-be worm people. I don't know. We will find out.
I'm not sure where you were going with that. I was trying to help.
I was
what
like
is it? I
worm
don't know.
men, and then I was like, that's not a good plural. I lost the train of thought on what the plural of worman is.
Romance.
Wormans. We're worm
people.
worm persons.
We are people. Yes.
Wormable.
Yes. On that very not funny and not well executed joke. We will see you back here on YouTube live on the 22nd. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you would like to join us on Discord and hang out with us and tell us better worm puns,
Yes.
give me some better worm related things that I can pull into next time, that would be lovely. The links are down in the description below. Coming out, we're cool, we're fun. We've got some great other shows on the Dice Cult here on YouTube that you can catch up on, or you can also check us out on Twitch, where we have some other shows streaming live during the week. I am forgetting the exact days because it is late and my brain is mush, but you can check out our schedule on Twitch for what is where when. And yeah, come follow us on socials, come hang out with us in Discord, check out our videos that you may have missed, and we will see you back here on the 22nd. Cat!
Oh, cat with nails out. Good night. Bye.
Good night. Bye.